Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's games here at ESU Esport Underground European League. This is going to be the first time around we're going to do this. My name is Tobias, the name is Toby, and I'm joined here by no other than Mr. Little Fuzzy Seal. I like that name actually. It's kind of fun to me. And I just realized that I had you muted for the entire time. Sorry, Mr. Fuss, you didn't know
Ah,
when to come in there. That was my
I thought
mistake.
that happened. I couldn't
Yeah,
hear. I couldn't
that
hear.
was
Just
that
like,
was that was that
is
was
this
my
guy know he's
mistake.
Discord deafened?
Yeah,
Okay, there we
but we're
go.
here. We're here now. We're here now, guys. As you can see, the I just popped up the rules for you. It's competitive. Circle settings, pretty regular. Erangel, Miramar. The only difference there is gonna be the ARs. 1.5 to 2, and then you have some scope settings and mets and stuff because the map is that much bigger and all that good stuff. And not a whole. You guys can all see it for yourself there. So
What's your opinion on that? Actually, I'm curious about your opinion on the Miramar spawn settings compared to the Erangel spawn settings.
I believe the settings are as they should be right now. I mean, it's been
Hmm.
tested quite a lot, so I'm a big fan of the way that they're the way that it's done right now.
Hmm. Yeah, me as well. I think it's pretty good for teams to be able to have the weapons they need. I would be curious to see if it changes alongside with the way that people play it because it is a relatively new map, right? And for the most part, even in Erangel, but also with the game in general, it usually has, excuse me, somewhat affected the settings that are used along with the game. Because with the circle settings as well, those were after we had the option to test them a little bit, were changed greatly and really affected. I feel the way that teams played the game and possibly the way that organizers create the rules for them. But
Yeah,
I think that right
exactly.
now, yeah, I feel like they're pretty good.
We're gonna take a quick look at the scoreboard here, so you guys can see just how things work. 7 points per kill, as you can see. Other than that, we have got 200 points coming in for people getting in the first place. Second place, 150. And then, well, you guys can see it out there. I don't I assume that people don't use Twitch as a podcast, maybe for some of the radio channels and stuff like that. But I'm taking for granted that people here are watching what's going on, and because of that, then I don't feel like I need to be a parrot
Do I need
reading
to get
off
my radio
things.
talk show voice on?
Oh,
Yeah.
and I mean
Here we
maybe.
see in Delta Power,
Good
check
evening,
Windows
everybody,
16,
and
it's
welcome
off.
to. Yeah, exactly. No, with that being
Initiate.
said, though, we are on our way into the game. Let's just take a quick look at the teams here, because there's some pretty good, damn good teams in there. We got Alliance, Ronin, Moonwolf, Team Expert, G2. House of Nobles, and I'm just doing the parrot thing anyway, but let's just, they all deserve to be mentioned. Let's put it that way. Crimson, LFO, and I've been kind of thinking with Oin, or is it O1NE? Or
One. Definitely
it's
one.
just one, right? Yeah, that's. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just looking at the name, and I've casted their games before, but sometimes I just had a feeling like, how do I normally pronounce their name? That was just a
If they don't
complete
want to
brain
be
fart
called,
to me.
if they don't want to be called one, then I'll definitely call them Oink.
Oink.
Because there's no care about like
Yeah,
OIN.
could
Like
be,
there's
could
no
be.
what other word starts with like the oin sound that isn't oink,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's definitely one that's letter one in there as well.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
either.
I honestly feel that ESU is one of the leagues that is just like it's kind of like a diamond in the rough. Like there's a between EU and even the OC league, there's a lot of really good teams that compete in them.
They are.
Like it's a really cool league. I think that more people should watch it honestly.
Exactly. But other than that, Wind and Rain, Tindergold, Maga Esports, Genside, Copenhagen Flames, Habu, and Team 8. It's going to be so tilting for those of you guys out there with OCD because today Team 8 are sitting in slot
Yeah.
number 9. So that's going to be.
Yeah. Oh God.
That is funny. That it just I think I've casted a game with Team 8 before where they were in Team number 9. So I think
Dude,
maybe that's like an admin spoof that they find that funny to do. I
I
don't know.
honestly feel like the EU guys, like just in general, like the players are just huge trolls, like leagues
Yeah.
above any other just community. Because I just look at names and it's just like I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Exactly.
Why did you call yourself that? It's so weird.
With that being said, though, Mr. Vossi, we will be going into our first game of the day, and looks to me like we got Pretty much a straightforward south to north airplane coming in. It's just going to go on the west side of military base over Ferry Pier and up towards Georgia Pole. So pretty much everything accessible. Might see, well, people obviously will have to find some vehicles and shoots if they want to go
Yeah,
way out east side. But
that's
other
a
than
bit
that,
of the hard part, actually, because I do feel like a lot of people tend to find their vehicles, in that Rozok or in that farm area
what?
along those two roads. Oh, how do we get there?
I don't know.
That's
That's
an interesting spectator cam.
spectator being fun there. Yeah, sorry.
But
But
I
yeah,
feel like with this plane, it's going to be a bit hard to do that. There's a couple of places
it's
you can go if you long shoot, but finding that car to get to your Severny, to get to your gas, to get to your Lapovka,
yeah.
might be a little bit hard with this route.
Also, if they get unfortunate with the zones, say you have a team drop somewhere, they want to drive all the way up north, then I mean, who picks up gas cans, right? You do have Alliance. They will be going down towards military base. They probably notice nobody else going there. Alliance normally a team you see dropping over towards Novo, but having seen that they don't have any competition in military, might as well upgrade that looting area just a little bit. Looks like G2 will be able to get the entirety of North George Pole for themselves, actually. We do have two teams going down towards south in Georgia Polo. That's going to be Butsman and the guys from. I just tossed away my list here for a second. No, but the guys from House of Nobles, of course, and the guys from Wind and Rain, they could be running into each other soon. Also, we got two, I guess you should say 2.5 teams with official Bjorn just being all by himself. They're down by Pachinki. So it could actually see, I mean, we just have 14 teams in here, but could actually see a lot of action in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, it's looking like with House of Nobles, they're going for a pretty wide split. They realized they didn't get the front or back six, which is where a lot of the most condensed loot is. So they're mostly just kind of spreading out, playing a little bit passive, claiming everything that isn't Northern Georgia. But looking at that zone,
Yeah, we have like a majority of teams already. Yeah,
lot of-
this is a zone that all of these teams are gonna like. I mean, there are some issues that could be mentioned worthy. One thing is that normally when you're leaving your city, you want to get a little off, like you want to get a little away from where you started looting, so that you can find yourself a compound there. But with the, I mean, it's just the fact that teams don't have to move so far is that's always favorable. You don't want to be forced to cut your looting period down because you need to move all the way across the map. So this is gonna be extremely favorable for the majority of teams here.
As far as movement goes, for the guys that are outside the circle, I'm definitely looking at the Flames and Moonwolf right now. It'll be especially hard to transition in because look at the edges of the zone.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of gatekeeping.
Yeah, there's almost no spot where there isn't a team near or on the white line. Looking over here, though, we do see Crimson Pybus going away.
Yeah,
He's gunning it, trying to find himself a place to go, but
should be able
right
to.
here,
Should
not
be
even
able
having
to.
a gun yet.
Yeah, the entire team will be moving over east. Have you actually seen Crimson kind of sticking to the kind of 3-1 split that you've seen Liquid do a lot of times? So they would have 3 guys in Yasnaya looting up there, and then 1 guy kind of looting the southern compounds just down here. But it looks like they will all be staking for Yasnaya this time around. Also, I mean, Crimson is a team that can kind of loot everywhere from Yasnaya and north. Sometimes they do what I call the scenic route. Like they would just loot everything north of Stalbert, just methodically going east of Severny, and then just take all the small compounds, Komeski, go back around, and then make their way inside the zone. So it looks like for now though they'll be able to loot up Yasnaya all by themselves. It should be pretty good looted coming out of there.
Looking around as well, it's looking like a lot of teams, specifically those that went very far away, probably won't be grabbing any compounds early on. There's only a few centralized compounds, I'd say 4 or 5, that are really worth going to. So here are the guys that dropped in Millie, that dropped in Yasnaya, that dropped in Severny. You already know that you're going to be later than a lot of the guys that dropped in the area on the flight plan, so you're kind of locked into playing Edge from a pretty early point in the game.
I gotta say, Fuzz, I get a little scared when I watch this, just because I know, I mean, out of experience, there are some issues with the 3-seater. I mean, one thing is that when it's not bugged, then it's hard to drive, but at the moment there's a thing there, if you drive too fast, then you could, out of nowhere, on a completely flat surface, just start doing front flips. So, hopefully, Minamik is, hopefully not in that position. Looks like he actually will be able to get quite safely up here. That's going to be a good, really good central compound. He's going to... Oh, I guess I'm not allowed to go inspect. No, I'm going to Genside. What is going on here, game?
Hello, Corey.
Yeah, spectating is somewhat weird. Niels, though, trying to see if he gets some shots down toward Favor. Not going to happen. Vanity and Favor, you see, they're both looking to go over towards where Dynamic is right now. A Dynamic, I guess you should call him instead of Dynamic, but... has had me fooled for a while there.
I really like this play from Dynamic, but he does need to get shots on this car. We see the minimap. He's getting crashed by 2 players, and this one-man scout is going to get punished pretty hard. His team is still in Pochinki. He's going to be alone here, but do they know he's here yet? They might not have seen his car coming in.
Yeah, they saw his car, they must have heard him crawling around. Now you see Vanity playing it extremely cautious over on the side. They do have a split going, so could Dynamic get the knock onto 1? Then he might be able to win this fight, but it's gonna be tough. Vanity though knows there are people here, must have heard the stepping, and the big thing is they don't know how many are here. So maybe they're thinking, oh my god, we just did something dumb. We're just pushed into a fully stacked compound. But with the zone and the planes being the way that they were, I highly doubt that they're expecting that. It looks like they'll be could potentially be pushing him now as well. Yeah.
They definitely hear him. He's making a lot of noise.
Oh yeah. They know he's there. They know he's there.
Shot at coming in is a huge testament to, okay, there's probably not 4 people in. Vanity to going in pretty deep, and Boston playing the wide angle, trying to see if he can pick the head of Dynamic.
And look at this. Now you have played Cedo. What he's doing right now, Dynamic, is the extremely smart play, because all he's doing is just buying time for his team to come join. And look at this blade, and the guys, they got the Vanity pins. She's inside the building, but Botsman is inside the other. And now there's actually a 3v2 in favor of the guys from LFO. See, Vanity is on the top floor now.
Even if they don't help out Dynamic right now, he's still in a 1v1 with Vanity on the defensive side. That's pretty good for Dynamic. The big thing they gotta do is make sure that Botsman, the player in the garage, doesn't do much. But over here, not going out pretty well as Rustamar, who I don't even know where Rustamar
They're
is.
sitting all the way over here. It's gonna be Wind and Rangers third partying this fight. Now you have Flex coming in as well. So there's gonna be 3 teams on top of each other. Favorite taken down there as well. Just after he gets stuffed, knocked. Sunbird coming in the building. Will be able to come around the corner. Dynamic trying to do something here. He's kind of trapped up on the roof right now, actually. You see Blade Cedo, he's all the way up on the mountainside there. It's going to be really hard for him to sort of participate with anything here. But let's see just what's going to happen. Rustamar gets the finish up onto Longo. Sunbird just exactly gets back there. Oh, there you go. Gets knocked by this. Once again, Wind and Rain third partying this fight like madmen.
These are the guys that are honorary LFO members.
They're all the way over here.
But yeah, so I think that right now LFO pulling back from that compound is saying, okay, Dynamic, you're just going to be over there alone. I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's not worth it to actually come assist, especially with a squad that's third partying. That does make it pretty dang hard, though, for House Noble to actually come out and really make a push. But as soon as they get in this building, that's when they know they have a 1v4 on their hands. But ooh, Dynamic with a really cheeky angles here.
Yeah, gets some good shots down. Will be able to spot one, but gets taken. Or not taken down, actually. Just takes a lot of damage coming through the window. I assumed he would be he would have been taken out. Ooh, nice flank onto Botsman. The parkour is on point. So 1 person down. Could be getting the next one. Gets the second one as well.
Does he have any ammo left? He hasn't reloaded. I don't think he has any left.
Oh no, if he only has 4 bullets remaining. He has a nade. He has 4 bullets, and that's the issue. He has not had time to loot. 4 bullets remaining. What? He got a nade with what? He just knocked 2 people with a nade.
Did he just wipe the full squad with a nade having no ammo left? Did he just
No, I guess Wind and Rain did get one of them down, but
what?
He had 4 bullets left and he got a double kill with the nade. Dynamic. Now that is what we want to see coming out of you. So House of Nobles. No, not House of Nobles. Yeah, LFO. And now he's just like, I'm sorry for leaving you. I'm sorry for bailing you. I should have come help you. Are you still my friend? Do you still like me? Wow.
Holy crap. Oh, LFO. If LFO's gotta win this game, man. Oh my god.
That was pretty impressive, not gonna lie. Larry, in the meantime, though, getting some shots on Toisa. We did see Fever getting taken down early, so Alliance down to just 3 players as well. Also, we saw Moonwolf. He's
yeah, I saw him in the kill feed there.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Where's your bike?
Let's look for the evidence. Is there a side? Was it a sidecar?
Oh! Yep, it is 3 seats. There we go. That's the evidence we wanted to see.
Sidecars. It's like
feels
it's like
bad,
but
man.
looking over here, we're seeing quite a few teams that are mostly banking on the south side of the river being in the zone. Only 1 or 2 groups are currently on the north side. It is about a 50-50 split, though, between these the 2 sides of the river. And crossing this river generally sucks. There's only a few ways across that don't involve swimming. and especially in the mid game, you do not want to be caught in the water. That's pretty much saying, okay, I'm getting something between like 5th and 10th place. It's not great.
Exactly. And I talked to Avenger when we were doing GLL yesterday, talking about like when do you want to commit to the mountain, like to Everest. He said you never want to do it like the first or second circle, which makes sense because if you're one thing is it's a good position to have up there, but if you're forced to make a move down, then you could be picked up, like be taken out by so many different teams, and that makes sense. And also that's, I guess, why we don't see anyone really committing to the Mountain Harbor though. Insolento getting some good shots over towards Andrea, not quite connecting them though, as they come swarming, or they're gonna be running straight into Wind and Rain though.
Yeah, they're crashing here as well. They're stopping here on the side here.
Look at this Edgedorf, he's in the middle of everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but found him right away. Cheese goes gunning him down, and now running into the crates. Genside actually trying to want to get around this, but not fast enough. It's kind of like getting gunned down as well. Genside, huge blunder as they can't quite figure out what they should be doing right now.
Yeah, he got flushed, so nothing for him to do. Andrea now just hiding inside this container. I mean, they know that there's one more nearby, but I'm not thinking that they know exactly where. It looks like Vic again bailing a teammate. That's not what you want to do, man. And yep, they found him.
The pre-fire as well.
They found him. Yeah, there was only Wise play. Yeah, Wise play. I mean, they dropped here, so they probably know the area inside out. They know that that's the only open crate in the entire. You can see. I mean, I guess there's one over here, but since they were here themselves, they knew that the only place he could really be hiding was in here. So of course, do the pre-fire, make sure that he cannot get a better angle on you, and yeah, in the end, Wise play on his part. Insolento now just trying to see if he can. I mean, there are some wheels there that could be popped, so might as well see if he could do some damage to them. We do have a new zone, though. It's gonna be Georgopol. Georgopol and Everest. That's, I mean, I'm personally not a big fan of urban endings. It can be exciting, but we had so many of them yesterday that I got really annoyed by them. Crimson now.
The north side's still pretty much in. So over here, though, Pybus, it looks like that these are the two teams that have decided they're going to be staying north. I'll be curious to see where Crimson goes. If they'll be staying on the north Georgie Zargi side, or if they'll be trying to find somebody across south. Looks like Mocket, though, making the exact same transition. They might have heard it and realized that, hey, the other squad that's with us is also moving, so it's relatively safe for us to do the same.
Actually, you're gonna see Pybus getting off of his bike here, trying to see if he can do some damage, but that's the thing with people using the same rotation paths and routes through the open fields there. They're going to run into each other sometimes, right? Trying to get off the bike, or out of the car there, trying to see if he can deal some damage. Maverick flying over the hill here, trying to just get away. Right now he's kind of by himself. Rolling over, will be able to get better, but look at this, they're already out of the car. Jump away, coming after him there. A lot of damage taken onto Maverick. Will he be able to get him down? The car is smoking already. Just a few more bullets should do it, and there you have it. Pybus with the finish off onto Maverick. They were actually in the compound, and they heard them coming around the corner. So I'm surprised to see them kind of just leaving that early. Right, taking a lot of damage from Wacko now as well.
Definitely didn't expect them to actually get out on that hill, but those dossiers definitely messed them up. That low
Oh yeah.
Until after the flip, he was that dossier.
Yeah, he was out of speed.
Slow to start up.
Exactly.
And at that point, it's just so easy to punish that. But over here, the survivor from Genside, the only one left, is currently hiding on Everest from a full other squad coming up to the top. I don't think that they know he is there. And if Genside Vic can keep himself low, then this new squad could sort of,
Yeah, I think he's safe for now. Looks like, I mean, official Bjorn is looking in the direction on and off. You do have the car down there, so that's kind of a dead giveaway. Oh wait, no, he's looking the other side. That's their own car. Never mind, I'm dumb. But yeah, Vic just kind of, he's not going to be participating in anything. As you said, he's the lone survivor of his team, so might as well just play it super safe and not make any noise. Here you do see G2. I mean, they know Northern Georgopol inside out. That's where they like to drop. We'll be going back in here, but they're going to be running into Market at some point. Crimson playing the smart. I really like this. They have the ridge over here, like all the way along the wall. They have a good ridge going here, so they can probably just hide it out here inside. Just wait and see if anybody else is going to come in. We do actually see Flames here coming in rotation. Depending on where they want to enter the zone, this could be a really, really good pickup for Crimson if they do manage to gatekeep them.
It does look like they are curving right.
They're running straight towards them.
If you're playing Edge, this is a pretty good way to play, but with yeah.
But they're gonna see the vehicles. You see? Yep, they're gonna see the vehicles.
Oh man, this is.
Or are they now? Hamster just slowly making his way inside the zone. He's going straight for them.
Oh yeah.
He must see the vehicles at some point soon. You see now he's turning off to the right side. Does not. Oh, is he stopping?
Nah, just swerving off really wide. Oh, I'm nearly avoiding a lot of those trees. The Flames having that last minute wait. What's going on? Definitely the right call from Hamster, swatting those vehicles out and swerving wide around to the right. Slim though,
Actually out of the car here. Yeah.
To get out. They do have a couple more cars, so as long as Slim can get over this hill and into safety, he will be fine to get in one of his buddy's cars. But shots from ringing left and right around. He's not out of the woods yet.
2x scope, trying to see if he can land. I mean, we know he's a really talented fragger, but going up 1v4 here with all of the guys from Crimson know exactly where he's sitting. That's probably not the best idea. It looks like the pickup will be coming in. The question is, will Hamster come to pick him up, or will they pick a fight? Looks like they will be making a run for it. I mean, and they do have the compound down here. Might as well just stick to it. It's inside the zone for now. Might as well just play the edge game, wait for the new zone to be popped, and then make a move there. Because the zone will be popping in just a few moments' time now. Nayu, not with his team, the entirety of LFO. They're down in that compound we talked about before. So he's kind of left off alone here. Fortunately, doesn't have really like any teams kind of holding him off, but it should be safe for now. Cass has been knocked in the middle of things, and here it looks like he's knocking down. What do you call it? He's getting finished quite fast. He's gonna bleed out. There's not gonna be any any people coming to pick him up. And there you go, Minox with the kill all the way up here from Everest actually. And so Linso now getting, but it's gonna be Alliance and Havu. What? They're just flying around. They got knocked. I don't really mind. He rammed them.
I'm not sure if who initiated that ram, but it definitely did not go for Alliance. Both of those players getting gunned down. Do they even have anyone left at that? I don't think so. Meanwhile, over here though, Havu getting crashed by Moonwolf, can barely see the backpack of one of the surviving players, but can't do anything about it. I don't think his teammates are nearby. Yeah, we see them to the northeast in those crates. That might be a really good frag though if he cooks it properly.
Ooh, just a bit off there, but the entirety of Moonwolf on the backside of the building here. Ooh, nice Nate with a double knock coming in there, so it's gonna be it, you see, all by himself. And Solenzo just flushing people now, will be making his way around the corner. Spots the last one, but won't be able to get the kill, at least not yet. Eju needs to get the rest going for his teammates there. Well inside the zone, there you go, vehicle blown up. Havu are inside the zone as well, but they're going to get pushed by wind and rain, so a lot of fighting going on over here. I don't really mind. Fortunately, has been able to come over here to the double whites and do the backup. Looks at this, Ogon will be finished off. Yep, there you go, not able to get rest in time. Havu just exactly, I mean, could he put his head out the window? Then you would have seen him, but nope, that's not a feature in this game, at least not yet. So, not an option for him. It's going to be in 2-on-2, though.
Arms at the window, fire the rifle.
Hello, anyone out here? They're going to be pushing around the right corner. The thing is, though, they could get spotted from Havu. They could be taking fire from behind. Ooh, one for each. It's going to be one. But there you have it. There, I just called it. Havu, the rest of the guys, they're really smart positioning by them. They're sitting over here by the barns, and teammates there for the help. So they actually end up not losing a single player in this entire thing. Alliance, though, on the other hand, just one player remaining after that ram. That was pretty damn insane. Just two bikes. It was like a death race for the hangars there. That was yeah.
You know you're seeing a clip from that one later from their point of view. That's gonna be really fun to look at. Meanwhile, over here on the east side, it looks like Tinder Gold getting just cleaning up to the east, taking out LFO. I think it was Naibu who really should have linked up with this one, especially after the showing.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of faith in your teammates, my friend.
Looking
around with the center, we're definitely getting that crates ending. So these guys that are on the north side are gonna need to cross at some points. It's not gonna end north.
No, I highly doubt that as well. It could. We never. I mean, the water here is not enough for the zone not to be able to pop over here, so we don't know it for sure yet. What it could be exciting to see though is an Everest ending, because you do have Minox Pony right, and then the other guys from team number 9 it's so frustrating to see. Yeah, exactly, team number 9 being team 8 up here, and they're the only ones in the mountain right now. So if everyone else is forced to make a move, you called it yourself earlier, there are only 2 access points with vehicles. Everything else is swimming over and then having to run up on the other side D-Day style. That's not what these teams would want. And of course they wouldn't want to cross the bridge either. You do see now the entirety of Copenhagen Flames make a run for it. Hamster taking a ton of damage, will be knocked by Pipers there as well.
Looks like they do have a small ridge that they can play and crawl to. They will be able to get that off as long as someone from northern Georgia doesn't come and grab them that western flank. Smokes are out though, so they should be fine to at least grab that compound. And that compound, there is a nice juicy crate waiting for them as well. Flames in a pretty decent spot here.
Yeah, if they get the rest
but
going and they both
still-
get back here, that could be
They
nice.
still need to cross this bridge, but the big thing that
Not
this
yet,
position
not
allows them
yet,
to do
not
is
yet. It's not
this allows
guaranteed.
Crimson, G2, and Mocket from crossing the same bridge.
Yeah, true. Taylor now also all the way up here from Tindergold. I mean, these guys just Crimson just going from bank to bank. That's pretty nice. They know that they don't have anyone in their back, and now they have got a new hillside to work with. Trying to see if they can take out Hamster. Ooh, a lot of fire coming in return, and MPS actually going to be the one to be knocked down by Slim here.
Oh, Pilot's actually re-peeking instead of going for the revive here. Nah,
Yeah,
he'll think
that's,
better of that, definitely going for the revive there. Meanwhile, we do see Millock crashing this compound. You do not know what you're up against, my friend.
I mean,
Dynamic.
Dynamic, he's been on point. He's just insane right now. 4 kills to the team. That's all on him. He's yeah, he's got a good thing going for him, at least for this game. That standoff earlier against, I believe it was House of Nobles.
Yep.
That was next level. You can
1v4
always call
by
you can always call RNG and luck on an 8, but that was pretty insane.
Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and that guy is definitely the Kobe master. But Crimson have spotted in the buildings Flames to their west, though. They realize they're not going to be able to grab those vehicles and cross this bridge for free. They could swim south. They could maybe skirt south with their colors as well. But it's not a great spot for anyone who's on this side. That being said, Crimson has placed pretty well on the north, though. It looks like Genside Vic has spotted someone from Team 8.
Oh, now this is trigger discipline. He knows that there's no way in hell official Bjorn is by himself.
Oh,
He's just sitting.
Oh my god, I won it.
Oh my god, the discipline. I couldn't have. I would have been way too tempted.
And just imagine how scary this is. If you're Bjorn looking at the VOD, just knowing that you could have died at any point.
That was a devil standing and looking after you.
Really?
So more people pushing in now. Martin gonna be making a move for it as well. These guys are eliminating everyone pushing this compound. Really, really, really good crossfire setup here. So you had one behind the car, and for some reason I'm over here now. We had one behind the car, and the other guy sitting just here in the corner. Really wise crossfire from Blade Cedo and Dynamic there. And I mean, they're the only 2 guys remaining on their team, and they've held off 3 different teams to push their compound. That's insane.
There's like 8 bodies in there.
Oh yeah, you see
crazy.
Stefan just finishing up Market here. It's gonna be finishing up in 12th place. Not really what they would have hoped for, I'm sure. But G2 just cleaning out Market. Sorry we missed that fight, but there are so many things going on at the same time. We cannot. It's League of it's the ESU League, man. There's action everywhere, and we cannot cover everything. We do our best. But yeah, G2 taking out Market up in Northern Georgia Bowl. The new zone will be popped soon. Vic will be forced to make a move, and these guys are forced to just kind of move down the mountain. We talked about this before. One thing is sitting up on top of the mountain, but coming down, that could be a very, very dangerous move. We do have Pony with the vehicle here, so that could be a good option for them.
I think Vic's in a lot of trouble here if Team 8 decides to maintain this position. There's the UAC that just got swallowed by the Blues that will not be an option for Vic.
Yeah, he needs to keep crawling too, and he's gonna be taking some decent damage here. Look at how slow he's moving. I think he's proning and keeping down the set button to, or the slow move button. Now he got spotted. I mean, he's gonna have to take a shot at Bjorn, because Bjorn is gonna be thinking, these guys are really bad at aiming. Wait, are they even shooting? Oh, Crimson. Man. Lockwood just with the save. I mean, he literally just saved official Bjorn there. That was a really, really nice move. It's going to be, I mean, it's either going to be containers, or it's going to be the most open field in the universe of PUBG. It's going to be cover for days or open for days. This is going to be pretty exciting. What are people going to do? Are they all going to be making a run for it down here, or are they going to be... looks like Stop will be... Yep, they're making a run for it. And they're going to be... Wind and Rain, they have not left containers this entire game. That's where we're at right now. Pony and Bjorn...
I'm really surprised to see not actually crashing crates. If they keep their vehicles safe, they'd be in a really good spot if the circle went east, but no, instead they're just saying, okay, it's gonna be crates, let's just go all in. They did make it in nice and safe though, and look, in a relatively centralized zone as well. If they can defend this section of crates, they're going to be in a really good spot. But look at the frag they're detonating.
There are nades everywhere.
Well, this is terrifying.
This is 3 teams tossing nades in the direction of Team 8. Not exactly easy to work with. Also because God. The odds that the nades bounce down from landing up top are so big. So, I mean, it's like playing Bomberman. Have you ever played like the old Bomberman where you have like, if you have placed a bomb here, then it blows in all directions? Yeah, that's kind of what's happening with the nades right now. Third nade knock coming in here. Yeah, there you go. No, actually it's gonna be a stop finished off there, but I don't really mind. They're just shooting through the smoke. This is not gonna be easy for the guys from Team 8. And as we just called, I mean, containers, that's a place that you are for the first short moment of looting, and then you get the hell out of there because nobody wants to be there. Right now, 4 teams, make that 5 teams with Steven coming over the top here, forced to stay here. In the meantime, Crimson and Flames are squaring off on each side of the bridge.
They're barely in as well, so there isn't much forcing them, but it's going to be really hard to reposition once the zone does finish its strength. We see Pybus here prone on the side. He's going to be looking for a cheeky peek on anyone else coming in. The reinforced Flames looks like below, though. We do see Lawson getting it down onto Noise, which means that one more player from Flames has to get that revive. The head gets the down as well. Only one player.
Nice headshot. Nice headshot coming in from Pybus. Jones is going to be the last guy on his feet. He's probably going to make a run for the water. Nope, looks like he's actually going for the rest right now. There you go. Gets the first one. Oh, you have Slim on the other side. I didn't even notice that. Gets the first knock. Gets the second knock as well. Jones coming up over the top. Will be knocked in return. So it's going to be MPS all by himself now. So Slim v MPS. He does have a good rock formation here to his 8. And they are... No, actually, I think they're just outside the zone, actually. Just outside the zone.
Oh, no.
He will be able to get the rest up, though, I'm sure. Jones finished off, but that's going to be Steven just third partying. And, yep, just... Oh, no, I hate this. Audio? Thank you. There you go. They're going to be outside the zone. Jump away will be knocked by the play zone. They did get the kill onto Slim, though. So he could stay here. His teammate just jumped in the water, though, so there's not going to be a lot of help. And the thing is, Steven... He's standing down here. No, I'm doing it again. Jesus Christ, I hate this. Steven, would you mind going out of the water for a second? Thank you. I cannot switch. You know that bug, right? So you cannot swap players if you're underwater, blah, blah, blah. Yep, that's super annoying. Tixu coming around the corner, so gonna be helping out Javier. Crimson, jump away will be, dead off the zone there.
I wonder if Havu squad picking their cars right now, because okay, they have a couple of bikes, because it looks like the zone will be leaving crates, and if they have a couple of vehicles, they will be able to make their own fort.
And there you go, not lasting any longer. LFO, they survived for a long time. Gotta give them props. Gonna be finishing off an 8 though.
They deserve more than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they deserve more than that. Dynamics 1v3 there, that was amazing, and then their hold off against 4 guys pushing them later on. I believe it was Tentacle that pushed them. That was pretty impressive as well. So we do have the guys from 1 pushing in here. I mean, again, Wind and Rain, they've literally been here for the entire game. They never left containers. And the plane went for them as well. The plane went straight over Georgia Pole. So they just had to drop straight down, and they've been here ever since.
And they're one of the only locations that's actually in right now. There's like one section of crates that's barely into the north, as well as over here we see Pony Ride and the rest of the guys on team that are in pretty reliably. But Alliance isn't in a great spot. The guys on squad 6, that's 1, are in a great spot. In fact, the only squad that I'm really liking right now is Havu. And that's because they can make their own car for it later on when the zone probably will inevitably leave the crates.
Only issue being all they have is 2 bikes. So that's gonna be a bike fort. I don't think that's gonna help you a lot.
That's not great.
No, you can use this buggy if they run out here, but
the trees,
yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yeah, but they don't have any cover. So we do kind of have the exact split with the road cutting. This is cover. This is horrible. Will be exciting to see where the next zone will force us to go. Because if it goes in the favor of Havu, they're just going to be able to sit out here and do whatever the hell they want. I mean, they can just be spraying for days and they just kind of goose hunting, I guess. Just shoot things out of I was going to say out of the air, but no. Crimson, NBS taken down there. That's going to be Crimson finishing in 7th. T2 solo player here as well will be taken down. He's going to be there you go. T2 finishing off in 6th place. So all these teams, we have 1 team on the right side of the road and 4 teams on the left. Alliance all by him. Oh, it's 6, yes, I should say. All by himself over here as well. But everything comes down to where the hell does it. Imagine if it goes up north. That would be so sad.
Disgusting.
That would be so sad.
I think that Havu wins that though because they have a little bit of cover.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see what
It'd
happens
be-
though.
it'd be
I mean,
curious to
nobody's
see.
making a move now. They're just sitting
This
still
is
waiting
super
for the zone.
important.
Yeah. What's gonna
All
happen?
right,
Who
where
gets the
is it
zone?
gonna be?
Oh!
Habu!
Oh, not even Habu. I mean, they have no cover. This is as
They
flat
have
as
to
can
move
be.
last. They have
That
to
is
move
true.
the
But look at
least.
this. It's a pancake. There's nothing here. There's no cover. I hope. I mean, we saw a ton of smokes being used as the teams pushed in towards the
Oh goodness.
containers. This is
This is
beyond.
when I
This
would
is
love being
beyond
able to team
horrible.
comms.
This is beyond horrible. We do have one bike, blown up car. I mean,
That's not gonna work. None of that's gonna
there's
work.
nothing. There's nothing. All the guys here, Larry and the guys, they came in on foot, so they don't have any vehicles.
Man.
And I mean, the Rustin the guys from Wind and Rain, they never left, so they never even went to pick up vehicles. Alliance, he came in on vehicle, but not gonna happen.
You see that
And
Dodge
he got
that's
the
just out of
Habu and the
blue?
guys, they're just down here thinking, what are we gonna do? What are we
There's a
gonna
Dodge
do?
that's just out in the blue to the south of Habu. I really wish they'd grab
Oh,
that
they also have a
one
smoking. I mean,
movement.
that's gonna get
It's
blown up
not-
as soon as
it's not
people get
worth it at
inside
this
it.
point.
Nope. And this zone is so. This zone is gonna move in 10 seconds. I mean, these people have to make a move. Smokes are beginning to come in. Question is that actually gonna be their own
There's a
smoke, or did somebody else just smoke them off? That's kind of interesting. But yeah, smokes are
Alright.
now beginning to come in. Small sheep on the ground.
There they go. It looks like that they've grabbed his little watchtower, but not going to be working as we do see players work get that down. That's Wind and Rain who gets one, finishing him off as well. Just moving and gunning.
They're
as
forced
we
to
do
run,
see
and the zone is
the
pushing.
zone-
No, he's gonna die to the zone.
There's nothing left. Wind and Rain take that first position really well, finishing off everyone on the squad.
So Wind and Rain finished off there. Manox and the guys from Team 8, they don't know what to do. 60 gets the first knock and finish off onto Bjorn. Will be able to get the second one onto Pony. What a nice 180 turnaround there.
leave?
But he needs to make.
Barely.
He needs to keep moving. Manox still alive though. 60, you don't have HP for this. You need to, next tick is gonna kill him.
He has one bit of HP. He has a couple of smokes.
Look
He's
at
the
this.
first
Habu
one to
has
leave,
the.
and now the entirety of Habu is
Yeah,
waiting.
this is gonna be
He only
Habu.
has
win.
a
There's still
couple
4 guys
smoke,
remaining.
but-
This is not good.
Yeah,
He's gonna
yeah,
die to the zone. There you have it. Finished. Actually, Manox is gonna get that kill. Finished off there as well. And there you have it. Habu winning the
Blaze
game.
on top killer.
That was
How many kills did Habu get here?
beyond
Let's go ahead and see.
horrible.
Okay,
They
quite
got
a few.
them,
11.
yeah, they got themselves 11 kills. That was pretty impressive. Official Bjorn and Pony. I mean, they had 4 guys down when when all those nades started coming in. I did not expect them to stay to get second place in this game. Also, Alliance with
Yeah.
that ramming thing going on against Havu early on, not expecting them to get in third either. But the zone really favoring the container people until the very end, I guess you should say. But one mention with the player, of course, Insolence with 5 kills and Yorkshire with 4 kills as well. But Dynamic, that 1v3 standoff with the nade, 4 bullets in the magazine, and still winning it with a double kill nade in the end. That's MVP worthy, at least for the first game.
It's actually crazy how insane that play was from Tindergold. And the funny thing was that all of his teammates coming back after he wiped them. Like, okay, we'll help hold this. And if he didn't get that help, then later on the subsequent pushes would have ousted him from that compound. But still, it was like tower defense for them. It was really impressive to see. I hope we get to see more of them coming in our next 3 games.
Yeah, that was really, really, really impressive. Let me just do this real quick. There we go. And guys, that was the first game of 4. We're gonna bring 1 more Erangel game and then 2 games on Miramar. So we'll take a short break and then we will be right back with the next ones. Here we go, guys. We are back and ready to bring you the second game of today. First game going in the favor of Habu. Not often you see see teams survive in the end game with 4 people alive, but that final zone, man, woo! That was next level evil.
I think that our second place team as well drove right past that location, and it's like, nah, I'm taking crates. I'm not grabbing that little
Exactly.
dinky one building
Yeah.
garage.
Who wants to sit out in the open like that? Habu won it,
Yeah.
and they ended up with the win in that game. Really good performance by them overall. I mean, first of all, you rarely ever. I mean, for me, I guess it's random in the end, but I rarely ever see end games up in the area up there of containers. It's kind of rare to me, honestly.
I've seen 2 or 3. It gets pretty silly.
Yeah, I guess
depending on where
because
the
it's
zone
kind of an
goes.
urban ending with people just sitting and camping corners and playing it safe. But guys, we will be able to bring you the second game right now. Planes should be coming over the beautiful island of Erangel within the next couple of seconds. We did have the first plane going Ferry Pier up over Georgepol. Next plane is gonna be Milta over Kameshki. I guess it's pretty much just a cut in half, crisscrossing
Yeah.
from down, like from southeast to northwest. So pretty much
I like getting
everything
zones like
accessible. Yep.
this.
Habu might have to jump out early, land down by Ferry Pier or the southern roads down if they want to make their way down to Primorsk. We know they like to land down there. Also, I mean, Alliance went military last game. Haven't seen them do that too much, but it looks like, again, they're going to be the only
Hmm.
ones going for the island.
I really hope that they go for that Novo military split as well, because if they notice that no one else is going here, they can easily claim
They're
all
going
the
to be
loot
like
from
full
both of
level
these
3 gear
cities.
and scopes for
Yeah.
days. Yeah, yeah. At least you would assume so.
Looking around as well, I'm wondering if anyone does want to go Primorsk, like you said. This particular flight plan does allow quite a bit of vehicle spawns, both in the farm as well as that Rozhok area that I mentioned last game. So it
Yeah.
should be pretty easy for most teams to go pretty much exactly where they want uncontested. That being said, we do see 2 groups, both Crimson as well as Sunbird and his group, going for Yasnaya. And at this
Yeah,
point,
man,
it's pretty hard to pull back from that.
yeah, I mean, Yasnaya is a really big city, so it can if they just keep. I mean, it is kind of funny because you see NBS, he's doing the
Oh.
3-1 split. Butsman doing the exact same thing. I mean, if they just stick to each their side of the city, I mean, if they just cut it in half and are nice to each other, then they
Mhm.
aren't forced to do anything here. Yeah, they
And
can
I
easily
find
loot
this
up
from
in
both
each their side of the
sides.
city.
Because look at this, Botsman getting his own car, Crimson in a pretty high vehicle spawn location as well.
Yeah,
There
exactly.
are sometimes car spawns in DS9, but this just confirms, hey, if we just go start in our own spots, loot away from each other, we'll both be able to get loot and find a car and get out.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, though, Official Bjorn is in one house. You do have Nayu in the building right next door. Not sure if I mean, they must know that they're a close one. Now you see Bjorn already looking over towards the hangar over there, the barn, I guess you could call it. Nayu,
Not
though,
sure what
not.
Nayu has.
There you go, Scar. I guess
Uh-oh.
Scar wins over Pistol.
Probably.
Might.
It doesn't have irons, but oh no.
I mean, yeah, he has a vest, unfortunately for him, but this is not gonna be easy. I mean, Official Bjorn needs to make a run, and you can see he made his way into the 2-story, and there you go, M16 and a helmet. Now the tides have tided. The tides have
have
turned.
tabled.
Yeah, that's a new thing that I like to say. Things that don't make sense. Zone has been popped though, and can we have some more zone centralization, please? It's pretty much straight down the
centralized
middle.
flight
Yeah.
plan, centralized zone. This
You
is
can't
gonna
really
be
have
pretty good for everyone.
Yeah, nobody should really be able to, nobody should complain. There are going to be compounds for days. I mean, this is a pretty easy go-to first zone. There's going to be so many access points so that even if, I mean, I would be surprised to see any team really get like hard gate kept. Maybe if Moonwolf decide to go down and keep Alliance there. They saw them going towards military, but I mean, yeah, highly doubting that's going to happen. Official Bjorn with a sneaky peeky move onto the roof. They're actually landing 2 shots up towards Nayo, but not gonna connect anymore. He's really far from his team. You don't often, I mean, I've seen more and more teams kind of utilize the whole, I call it Atlantis. Some people call it Watertown, some call it Venice. I guess the city has, what do you prefer to call it? Watertown?
I usually call it Watertown. I used to call
Yeah.
it New Orleans back in the day, but that's probably
Yeah. No. We cannot do that. We cannot do that. I guess Atlantis is technically the same thing, but as New Orleans. But since it's more
Recent
methodic,
day.
since it's more
Atlantis
methodical,
equals New Orleans, by the way.
yeah, since it's more methodical and stuff, then or mythic, is that what you call it?
Mythical,
Mythical, yeah.
mythological.
So it's more okay to make jokes about drowned cities than the actual drowned cities. But that's not. We're not gonna go into conspiracy theories and stuff. Let's keep it to PUBG. But they are doing the 3-1 split here. We've seen teams like Millennium, the French team, do that as well. They kind of do it differently, where they have 2 guys up in Atlantis, and then 1 down here where Maverick is, and 1 down here as well, and then maybe 1 routing over to Ruins. Like, so they just contain this entire area. And the good thing is that the entire road, like the entire open field of this entire area, this is one of the biggest rotation areas of the entire map. So if you have the control of the compound down here, have the control over here, and also got Watertown and Ruins, you can gatekeep a lot of people. I mean, even in zones like this, if you do a 4 split down here, you can just pretty much laser people coming through there.
Looking around, we do see Havu. I don't remember where his team split off, but it is just him and Fever actually alone, pulling up at pretty much the exact same time. But Fever, he realized there's only 1 person in that vehicle. We'll be getting out of the buildings are spawning in right here. But I don't really mind. Look like he isn't quite willing to take that fight.
Yeah,
With
no,
Fever having the
I'm not even sure he
DP20
has a
definitely
weapon.
Good choice.
I mean, Havu being a team that
Probably
normally you
does at
see
this
2
point.
guys all the way down here in Primorsk, and of course he doesn't know how many people just rolled up. So dangerous
It
move
would be
for him.
silly for him to have a gun yet. It would be silly.
Why am I flying from Pochinki to North Georgia Pole?
I've heard that you sometimes have to unselect the player before.
Yeah,
you
it is strange like that. Market though, they kind of have Taylor from Tindergold in a pretty horrible position. He tried to push up a compound here. Now they're in a 3v1. Can he pull off a dynamic from last game? It's highly unlikely. He does have a pretty decent position out here, kind of an off angle. Oh, now he just punched Bjorn to death. I guess that means that that he was knocked earlier. Didn't even notice that in the kill feed. Yeah, but oh, there you go. Spots the first one, but taken now. Just 1 HP remaining on right. But that could have been scary actually if they all ran by him. He could have had like a good spray control, a spray transfer from target to target. That could have been
maybe
scary.
2. I don't know. In a situation like that, like he has no cover, he has no plan to.
It was gonna be hardy though.
Down.
Yeah, exactly. NBS, nice level 3 helmet, no vest though, so just 2 body shots from Flex should be able to net himself the kill with that M16. Not really sure what his plan is. He is running around with currently a Vector and a UMP, so long range fights probably not what he wants to do. I actually think it would be better for him if the guys from House of Nobles they push down on him. I mean, of course you don't want to be pushed by 4 guys, but with his team being all the way up in Yasnaya, that's not really what you want to like. That's not the situation you want to be in.
He came here intending for like the 1-3 compound hold split, but when you don't have a rifle, it's pretty hard to actually shoot at people and have them take you seriously. So right up here with House of Nobles grabbing this hill, they should be able to, after a little bit of investigation, figure out that there's only 1 guy, if anyone, here. But they will be pushing in. But SMGs are only so good. Like, yeah, they're good at close range, but it's not like they win you fights at close range. And NBS realizing this is backing off of the compound to the west. Vanity moving in right at the same time, being very careful. NBS might be able to get out of this alive yet, but he kind of failed at his job, which was to try to claim a centralized compound for his team early on.
So the front lawn dog barking strategy didn't work for him. Normally it does, but I guess his barks were too cute and they wanted to come down there and visit the dog industry. You know, I mean, it's gonna feel so bad for like the dogs with that small dog complex thing. Where like barking and trying to be all rude, and then you just have big evil human beings like, oh, you're so cute, when they try to be scary. That's gotta be frustrating, right? And I think that's what NBS
that
realized.
That metaphor is pretty grim in the context of people with guns, I gotta say.
I guess they weren't gonna be nice to him if they came down.
I don't know. the pets are M4s in this case, but it looks like NBS. Okay, NBS it has fallen back, and it looks like with House of Nobles getting pretty much the undisputable better compound in this case.
Oh yeah,
like
by far. They have higher
more
ground, more accessibility, more escape opportunities. They have the entire roof here. And as far as I'm concerned, you can vault up to the roof there as well. They do have a broken wall all the way around the compound. This is a really good building to set yourself in. They're gonna keep pushing though. They're going to keep pushing. They really are. I mean, they're just smelling it. They're just blood. That's all they want right now. But look at this. Again, just like before, the amount of time that he got to kind of stall them. has enabled for Pipers to move down, but he's been running all the way from Yasnaya. They apparently don't have any vehicles. Does spot the first one, and this is exactly, I mean, out of any situation he could put himself in, this is going to be the best one. The Vector, such an extremely fast rate of fire, and that's, I mean, up close, these small SMGs, they can easily outgun the ARs.
Yeah, he's still like gunned up, and oh no, just not the M16 on burst
yeah,
fire.
I was gonna say he would have had.
Close range
Oh yeah, he would have had him, I think, if he had a vest on. I mean, that was just literally
point.
just 2 shots to the body and he was dead. And that, yeah, nothing he could do there. But he did manage to get Sunbird down just about half HP. But right now, Crimson, I mean, they could potentially, I mean, they could be out for revenge. They know exactly which compound they have all their opponents. But then again, with the new zone not being popped, yeah, we do have a double drop down here. That's kind of interesting. No one going for them, though. Maybe Insolenza would at some point, depending on where the zone will force them to go. But yeah, there's not really, I mean, they won't really get anything out of this fight. I mean, of course, they could kill one guy, but in the end, it's just going to be them wasting ammo. They're going to be forced to make a move somewhere, depending on where the zone will take them. And you see, I mean, Sunbird, he's just going to heal back up. It's going to be practically impossible for them to do anything. Now, Venity is coming out there as well. So, ooh, nice headshot coming in from Pybas. Ooh, jump away, landing that headshot with the car. I guess he does have a 4x. That makes it a little easier than having a red dot. But
2 4x's, his teammate doesn't have any.
Yeah, that's great wingmanning. That's communication on next level. Also, Lockwood has a 4x. So determined on getting the revenge here.
I'm pretty curious about how House of Nobles Squad 1 is playing this right now. They don't really have to be outside right now. They're kind of taking a lot more damage than they really should be right now. Obviously, no kills coming out from this, and Crimson is still in a bit of a tizzy, you could say, because I don't think they have any vehicles. But either way, no matter how you slice this, especially with Sunbird getting out of that alive, House of Nobles is definitely on top here. But we kind of earned that Gatka-esque situation where it's like, okay, these guys have settled down, they're neighbors, they couldn't get any kills, they've gotten up, they've buttoned up, and so now they're just trading helmets, trading armor, and trading meds.
Is that a thing? People are nice to each other in Gatka? Or what? You said Gatka-esque thing? I just want to know. I mean, I've never heard of that
It's
before.
like the Gatka neighbor situation where everyone gets compounds, then no one pushes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I was just like, in Gatka, people don't kill each other. They're nice. Okay, well, I gotta go to Gatka more often. I see what you're saying, though. I got the point. It just took a little while. It's the American humor. I don't get that. It's weird. Us Europeans, man, we don't get it. But then again, Americans don't get our sarcasm either, so it's all good.
Hey. Yeah, I'm a cultured individual. I know I know humor.
Okay. Sorry.
That's right.
Either way, we have the entirety of Insolenza and Habu. They're the winners of last game too. Nayo, he got himself a kill onto Bjorn, but he could be in a rough one if he gets picked off by I don't really mind coming around the corner here. Oh, and he's not even at full speed. Oh, will he be able to get around? He will. Somehow, I mean, look at the vehicle. 5 more bullets should do it, but somehow gets to survive that. He's gonna be running. Yep, wise move on his part there. I was just saying, boop. We know vehicles in this game. They get scared. Ooh, now you have flames coming down as well. Longo and the guys also, so 3 teams pretty much on top of each other, and somehow I just went to spectate Genside. That's interesting.
It is really interesting how Flames with their transitions and their rotations always seem to be coming across other squads. It seems like everyone...
Don't hit your teammates. Don't hit your teammates.
Don't hit Slim. But it seems like Flames, like, I don't really recognize them from other groups, but it seems like the rotation...
Speaking, when they... No, just as we go away, he hit his teammate with the car.
Come on, guys. Come on.
No, their Danish team have competed. I mean, they're pretty much competing in all the bigger leagues there are to compete in at the moment. So
my bad, Flames.
No worries. I think they'll be okay. Nice shot there, Meter. Might as well use some ammo to shoot in the wood. But a few shots being fired.
We need to get a new zone, and while Flames are over here on this little shed, they should be fine. Yeah, it looks like the new zone mostly cutting out a lot of the northern sides, and it's gonna be going down south of the farm area, which is kind of a place where you're allowed to play outdoors and in compounds. It really just depends on where you're gonna be set it up. But over here with Flix,
yeah, he's not in a good position.
House of Nobles is very split up right now. It's very rough for them to form up.
Does have smokes and bandages, but how long is that going to keep him alive? His car just blew up. I mean, he has to make it all the way up here. I mean, the next tree for cover is gonna be here. That's a long open run. Maybe he'll be fortunate that these guys can't see him because of the leaves, but nope. Genside
His
on
smokes
point.
were too low in elevation.
Yeah, but he might
might
actually should have popped them above himself, so he could run up
Yeah.
into them. Yeah, there you have it. But nope, not gonna happen. Flicks taken down, and that's gonna be one person less remaining in the game for Nobles. Or House of Nobles, I guess you should say, because those are two different teams. House of Nobles and Nobles, they're two different teams, so we cannot just call it short. We have
I'm
to.
gonna call him Hun if they're ever in the same game. Here we
Hun?
see Hun coming on.
Hun,
Well,
yeah.
one of the members of our Honey.
What
Buns
about
is
if you play?
down.
What about if they play against Honey Badger Nation? Then you can do that. Either.
Oh no.
Yep. There.
Oh, I'll deal with that when I come to it.
Then they'll be. Yeah, that's because that's gonna be instead of Honey Badger
So,
Nation.
Speaking of Hun, though, the House of Nobles, the survivors have since regrouped on Potato Mountain, which is about the most centralized location in the entire map. So
Oh, yeah.
that's pretty good for them, but it's almost too big for only 3 people, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, there are 3, so they're just on top of each other. Maybe that's why. But yeah, it's really tough to. I mean, even though you can keep angles, I've played this angle a lot of times. I mean, there's a lot of ground to cover. Like, there's a legitimate panorama 360. You have to cover everything all the time. And with my luck in this game, the very second I take my my view off of one angle, that's when people come pushing me for some reason. It always works like that. Noise though coming with a nice headshot out to 60. I mean, he didn't really have a lot of opportunities as he was sitting up here in the Princess Tower or Harry Potter or what people like to call those. But I mean, this might be the death of one more player from Alliance actually, because it looks like we see has made his way up towards the tower, but he needs to get up the stairs as well. Takes a lot of fire. Oh, just exactly gets inside, and there you have it. Wingman for days. Slim now actually going down as Meteor lands a nice headshot on towards him. So he's going to be behind the tree. Kind of the same situation here. They could use the hill to their advantage though, and go around the back and go over and get the rest. Yeah, they should be able to get up onto him.
It looks like the Flames are pretty good at using these tracks. You see them stacking up vehicles behind so they can peek through the windows through the shed. That's pretty smart from them. But with the zone fishing up and shrink, it's going to be very telling on who gets to stay and who has to leave. If you're in the central area, if you're Flames, Alliance, Havu, House of Noble, you're feeling pretty good. But if you're on the edges, then you're feeling a little bit tentative. And yeah, there's quite a few squads that will have to be moving south, and especially for LFO, who's currently centered up. That's a long line of compounds that we're probably going to be seeing quite a few teams crash here soon.
Also, like, they don't have that far to go, but there's so many teams down here in this area. So Genside, no, Andrea, don't hit, no, don't run over Edgedorp. He did deserve. I mean, he might deserve it. I don't know, but I don't think he did.
Oh, this is super bad. Moonwolf having 4 rivals here, and
they're going straight up into.
So dead.
Now that is what we call sandwiching people. That's not the situation you want to be in. There you just have a US coming down the road there all by itself, no people in it, just going off in the distance.
Mako and Velen took shots at it, but they realized it was empty.
Somehow 2 people actually survived from that team. I'm surprised. Insolento in the meantime taking out House of Nobles. They're all down to just one shack over here. Not sure what their plan is exactly, as they try to make their way inside the zone. Now the rest of the team is coming up here. Wind and Rain, they have placed themselves out here on the ledge, out in the top part of the map, but not sure if what's exactly going to happen here. Nayu, Forex and a suppressor, really good setup on his part. I mean,
I think I like Havu's spot right now. They're pretty centralized, but they're in a bit of like a bowl, which means that if no one gets in the hill directly next to them, which that shouldn't be possible with how many combats have sightlines on that particular location, they should be good to move around when they're forced, if they're forced to leave that compound. That being said, this saw a lot of other teams transitioning, but the G2, I'm not sure where they're going to be able to go.
They're going for here. Milo is going to be pushing
them. That's already occupied.
Yeah, exactly. Nope, looks like either he crashed or he jumped out. I'm not sure. I wish I could go and spectate him. There you go. Might just have rolled the car over, actually. They're going to be running straight down towards Milo, and he's going to be coming out the hill here. And this is kind of ironic, because G2 just took out 2 of the guys from Tintergold, and now they're the ones with the good position on towards them. They will be running back up north, though. Looks like they're gonna
definitely showing a lot of signs of just like
frustration.
Yeah, they lost one player who, if they just came to this tower in the first place, he would be alive right now.
Yeah, exactly. That yeah, I mean, every plan they had got pretty much smoldered in the very second they thought of it, and then it was hard of them kind of to they had too many Like, they had to change up their mind too many times, so they probably reached the point
Yeah.
of, I don't even know what to do anymore. Let's just go the first place that we can get that's open, and didn't work for them. Botsman now taken down as well, so Sunbird is going to be the only guy remaining, actually, for House of Nobles. He's prone down
Wait, can
here
he get out?
by the shack. Yeah, he can. I mean, technically,
Oh,
he
he's
can.
not in the shed. Okay.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, you thought he was inside. Yeah, no, he's just
Yeah.
chilling. He's just chilling down here, hoping to get, like, the next 5 circles on top of him, but...
Hero might.
yeah, we never know. We never know what's gonna happen. Martin taken down as well. I believe that's gonna be their entire team actually finished off in this. Larry, I mean, they're making their way up towards
Ooh.
Mogget. You can see that he knows where they are. Mogget obviously hasn't spotted him, so the guys from 1 could potentially make a run up the hill here if they wanted to contest this, but there isn't really any reason for them to. They need to get inside the zone, though, that's for sure. Pony
Well, there's
and
a couple of styles they're playing at. It's either sort of playing a little bit more passive, trying to take fights whenever you think you can win them. And it looks like with one on the that squad 6 on the northwest side, it looks like they're not too willing to take this fight, but they might be forced to, as on the edge, you can only avoid these fights for so long. And if they kill Mocket here with a relatively clean sweep, then they get high ground to themselves, which is not a bad spot to be.
Yeah, but the thing is, odds are they'll be forced to move out either way. So if the zone goes down south, they can just make a flank down the west side. I mean, they would be contending other teams, but it's just like the ability to pick. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Whew, there you have it. That's gonna be tough. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams. Well, I guess Habu is. I mean, that's not so strong with these guys. So 9 teams not in the zone yet, and you only have. I mean, you have got this area. 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings for 9 teams. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and for LFO, it looks like that they can only hold the south side. They've all consolidated, not trying to claim everything, not trying to prevent people from coming in, which means that there can probably be, like you said, at least 1 or 2 squads that will be rolling in from the north. But it looks like no one really willing to actually make that. Everyone assumes that's already occupied and are instead trying to find other, questionable locations to find themselves hiding in. Sunbird and Miloff in their own little shack. And now you want a couple of these cars. Looks like lit up.
Yeah, they just got the wheel out there, so it's going to be hard for him to do anything. Miller is actually going to be the one to get the knock. Who will get the finish off? He's going to be able to do that as well. Right taken out by Copenhagen's Flames as they come down the hill. Slim finishing him off there. So a lot of action going on right now as all these teams try to transition in towards the new zone. Reese, no, it's actually going to be 60 with the knock onto Atchi there as Mogget try to make it down the hill. That just, you see what I'm saying? They didn't take this fight, and now they move downhill, and they could actually get a really good position on towards the guys from Team 8.
There's a lot of players that, rather than playing on the edge fights, they're just kind of trying to transition on with the vehicles and getting really messed up from that. But looking over here, we still do see the guys from 1 that are stalking Team 8 to their far east, but they're finally spotted.
Yeah, they have been spotted.
They might have waited too long here because they can get easily gate kept here by Team 8.
Yeah, the zone is already pushing in, and look at this. They're just gonna cut them off. We do have Copenhagen Flames in the meantime. They're pushing up towards Market. They've only got 2 players remaining, and Nates are gonna come raining in pretty much right now. Not sure if they can. Oh, there's another room. Yeah, okay, never mind. But
there's only 2 players in here with the 3 4-man siege actually, and only 2 holding the staircase. It is very, very hard to push. It's one of the most defendable buildings in the game, but still 4v2, very rough odds for 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely tough for Flames to push him, and I'm not even sure that they're going to. Might as well just play the downstairs, and because they have a guy Slim over in the other building, they can kind of hold them off if they do try to jump out. So might as well just live with the stalemate for now until the zone pushes in and see where they're forced to go afterwards. You do have Dynamic though. We saw him do crazy things in compounds earlier today in game 1, and he has found Slim. Could potentially be a death for him. Takes out the car. Hamster's over there as well now, so they're doing 2-2 split, which makes perfect sense. I mean, and actually, they're all committing to that 1-story building over here now. They do not want to be upstairs with Market being in the same building. Makes perfect sense as well, so they're going to be sticking to that building. Genside going to be coming over the right side. Moonwolf only got 1 player remaining as far as I'm concerned. AWM though, and a ghillie suit. That is not too shabby. I mean, if you're going to be alone, you might as well get good equipment, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised on the far west side that 1 was actually able to sort of skirt.
They actually got around there. Yeah, did not expect that either. But look at the run Niels has for him. Look at the run.
But I think that if they can get under this ridge, they should be okay. Wind and Rain, though, just having complete eyes on this location, they might be able to gatekeep them pretty well. But it looks like they're not really willing to leave, rightly so. They have one of the better spots in the zone.
Oh, yeah, no reason for them to go anywhere. No reason for them to go anywhere at all. And as you said yourself, there are a couple of ridges that kind of hold them from taking too many shots in their direction. Let's see where the next zone will take us, though. It's gonna be north.
Ooh,
Wow, the
okay.
switcheroos in this. So it went from far north to far south to far north again. So I mean, a lot of teams transitioning all the time. Alliance are gonna be the first movers. They almost had the edge of the zone up here, but not gonna happen. Actually, Meter
Oh,
taking this
forward.
car with just 2 wheels sort of remaining there. Just the desperation factor. We need to get away. We need to do something, and this is where they're
Well, no,
gonna go.
I think they're going for the build-a-base sort of strategy. They're
Yeah,
trying to make those
make a
establish
fort.
the cover on the high ground, which that could be a really good strat for them. Because
Exactly.
look, they're alone there. There's no
Yeah.
one that can really contest this. And if they leave, then you don't have a car fort. You don't have high ground. And if they can just sit there for this one, and even the next one, that could be a great spot for them.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, they cleared out their entire backside, so they know that they only have to sort of, I mean, they can just make a wall. They don't have to sort of do a circle of cars that they're sitting inside. They can just make a wall in one direction, and they'll be safe for there. But once again, Flames splitting up, not committing the 4 guys to the one building. The zone is going to be pushing in, and it kind of makes sense because you're just disallowing other teams to take compounds when you do this kind of split. And they're still close enough to each other that they can help each other out. Larry, though, and the guys, I mean, they've been pretty much on the run for the past 3 or 4 zones now, coming in from way up north early on. Raz is going to be taken down. Should be able to get the rest from Larry, though. Ooh,
While this is going on, though, 2 of their players are going wide south, seeing if they can't find themselves a little angle here. But no, they're getting spotted out immediately, and that was
And
really
look
their
at-
big trump card. This is
Yeah,
pretty
could've
hard. Plus, we're
been.
even getting on the left flank. This is not going to work.
Yeah, there's no way Niels is gonna get around here. This is just a D-Day push of death. I mean, there's no cover at all, and they have the zone. They can just sit in here and wait for them to come. Wacko gonna be taken down by Naya. Will be finished off there as well. Milo still alive somehow inside this shack, but he's gonna be forced to make a move as well within the next couple of seconds. Steven, we
G2
saw
was
him.
there to his south. They were able to find themselves a crate. Is it a bike if he can
If he
sneak
can
onto that,
somehow
I think they
get up
suggest
onto this
something.
bike, I mean, it's a desperate move, and he's all by himself. So if
Oh.
anything he can do to stay alive, that's gonna be worth it. Like, just smash the bike into a broken wall somewhere and just like hug it and just prone on it and don't do anything. That could be a
Whatever
move,
your
but
solo strat is, a preference in the law. Good luck, my friend.
yeah. Milo, ooh, actually finishing off G2 there, so they're gonna be out in 12th place. That's just him single-handedly giving his team more points. That's a pretty good job, both as far as getting a kill there with 7 points, but also 1 position better. Mika's making a run here as well. There are a few ditches that could work for him, but he is all by his lonesome with the entire wind and rain, trying to see if they can get him down. Ooh, actually, it's just going to be inside the zone here. Milo as well looking to go on foot. Will be proning just on the other side of that ridge. We do have Larry getting...
boys finding themselves some ridges, but yeah, we see one getting completely demolished on the west side. His teammate is nowhere near him. He's gonna be bleeding
Yeah,
out here
it's
in
not.
the-
It's not gonna
Even
happen.
Mika's
It's Mika's all the
already
way down here.
positioned.
That's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. Oh, what a
Ooh.
zone! Flames and Nugget can stay in their compounds. Dynamic, I guess, can stay on the edge of this building as well. We do have a Princess Tower out here in the middle of everything that people could be going for, but other than that, not easy. This is not gonna be fun
I think
for
this is
anyone.
the best for Havu because they're uncontested in the area around them.
Yeah,
Their
yeah, yeah,
building is
for
still
sure, for
slowly
sure.
in, and there's a hill to their east they can play after this. Meanwhile, everyone that's eastern compound, that is going to be an absolute cluster with
yeah.
so many teams having to push into that one central location. That's gonna be messy no matter how you slice it.
Not going to be easy, that's for sure. Slim getting the knock and finish up onto Maverick, and there you go. They actually pushed that compound and finished off the entirety of Mugget. They did lose 2 players in doing, or 1 player in doing so. That's going to be Noise taken down, but a pretty good 2-for-1 trade sweep here. And they, most importantly, they netted themselves one of the only full compounds inside the zone. And this is a nice compound too. You have got a lot of the windows that you can vault out of, but and also you got the balconies you can jump out from. So a lot of opportunities from here. They got to keep their backs so close though, so Dynamic and the guys don't push down towards them. VC has made his way.
Play later on. Oh yeah, let's look at Lions VZ here, parking into this wooden shed with the UAZ. Sadly, breaking a lot of the cover that's left. UAZ is smoking as well. VZ himself, if he were a car, he would be on fire as well, avoiding the splash damage from the explosion, but will be getting to heal up here. But his squad is not faring well. Look at all the shots that are ringing by him. 3 squads all have vision on here and are looking to see if they can take Alliance out of this game.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy. Edgedorp, actually, I believe the only guy on his feet still from Gen's side. He's going to make a run for it here. Dynamic is inside the compound. The big question is, oh, no, just exactly doesn't spot him through the smoke there. The zone is pushing in. Edgedorp has got to either go all the way around the compound here or make a run through it. Not sure what his plan is, but whatever it is, I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all.
Sneak in because if you're squad 4, then you know you can't stay. You're gonna be looking to get on that road to your north of the broken walls on it. So we might be able to sneak in behind if LFO is sort of leave right now. He is being very sneaky. He's crouch walking like so. He knows that he needs to be stealthy.
Oh yeah.
There's Blade Suit in the 3-story. Now you're here as well. This is really bad for Edgedorp.
Yeah, it's gonna be extremely tough. I mean, he's forced to keep on moving. Look at the zone damage now as well, taking extremely hard. He could just be sitting here. We can see how many first aids. He has 2 first aids, so he could yeah, just use 2 first aids. Maybe that's gonna force them to move a little further in as well. So might just take their focus off of him. In the meantime, we got Wind and Rain and the guys from Team 8 fighting off things here. One person gonna be taken down. It's gonna be Pony Rider. And we still have Minox. Is that the only guy remaining on their team? Looks like it. He has got only bandages to go. That's not gonna help him. He's gonna die off there. Boop. There you go. And that's gonna be Team 8 finishing off in 7th place. Not probably not what they would hope for, but they did not have a lot of opportunities here either. Looks like we had Genside out of the game there as well, finishing off in 7th.
Looks like this compound still in the high ground as well above it. So Flames as well as LFO can be contesting this eastern side. The Lions still in a rough shot, and we just show up to see Meteor getting his head blown off. No helmet there for him. He will be having cover, but they can't stay here. The UAZ is also disabled, not going to be moving anytime soon. They have a long way to go to get in the zone. They're probably just going to need to find some sneaky downs onto Flame to get that done. Havu, though, they're the big question mark. Are they going to rotate south? They're going to rotate north? They're going to go straight in? There's squads in pretty much every direction, and there isn't exactly a clear route for cover to get in from.
No, I mean, they got to go somewhere. Not sure exactly what they're planning on doing here. First plan of the day, though, could be taking out Wind and Rain and stake their vehicles. Looks like it's working, at least for right now. I don't really mind coming up over the top. Could be nading them down here. Not. Looks like it doesn't have any nades, actually. Broken little 1 helmet as well. Not exactly the thing you want to be the first mover. With nades are gonna come in the opposite direction, though. Nice knock from him. So only Rustin are remaining for Wind and Rain now. Just gonna flush them.
Clearing the downs. He saw Rustin for a second there. That M249 is there behind the UAZ. Don't really mind. We saw him on the screen for a second, but just he must have not seen him. Rustin, though, being very sneaky, crawling in. He's on the short side of the zone, so he does have a lot of time to do this. But there is a full squad of Havu right to his west.
How many smokes do these guys have
1,
again?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Guys, remember to pick up smokes when you're running around in the open. That's the Havu strategy, and that's the only thing keeping them alive right now. Because they're forced to make a push up here. And look at the split. Look at the split of LFO. They're spread all over the place, and it's working for them because they're taking up so much space from other teams. Rustin Mar, he's gonna be climbing up over the hill. I mean, he got the ghillie suit and dropped his backpack, so he's not. He's gonna be really hard to see. Nayu getting the vision onto Yorski. It's actually gonna be Blade Cedar that gets the knock on towards him. Alliance also still alive down here in the hole there in the corner of the zone. Could potentially stay in there as well. Hamster and the guys from Flames also very much alive, but they're forced to. You know, they could probably sit in the edge of the compound, but then they would only have 1 exit from there, so it's gonna be hard for them to do anything. That's for sure. And Solensu taken out.
Got demolished over
yeah, I mean,
oh,
look at the HP of Out Divine. Literally, and boop, there you go, taken out in the end as well. So, surprisingly, Wind and Rain actually outliving Havu in this one. I was just going to compliment them for once.
A little bit
further. There you go. Feet don't care.
All right, well, we do see Squad 4 LFO getting the zone this time around. We might be getting our wish from last game because they are in one of the better spots. But look over here, they're light split. I mean, 2
Alliance,
in the shed, 2 on the one in the hill, 1 in the middle of nowhere. The Flames are the big surprise here. They're not playing quite as aggressively as I would have thought, having a 3-man still up. And now, because they haven't played that passively, there's squads very close on both their north and southern flanks. It's going to be very hard for them to push out, especially look at this. No firing force.
He's not going to get out. He's not.
Slim doesn't even get out safely. This is so bad for them.
Jumps out. Will be getting inside just exactly, but he's going to be taken out. Yep, there you go. They're just waiting. And that was the thing I was just going to mention before. They only have 1 exit point. That's still inside the zone. If they stayed inside the compound, that's going to be the balcony or the bottom floor. Hamster did manage to get downstairs, so they could be making a roof for it. But as you can see, 60 and VC, they're just waiting for them. The zone is going to push him as we speak, and they're forced to make a run for it. They're going to go first guy down, and second guy down. I mean, I don't know if there was anything else they could have done in this scenario, but look at this. 3 teams remaining. Rust and Mar. I mean, everything is working for him. This is just the perfect scenario. We saw it yesterday with Pentalol and the guys in the Global Loot League. As I believe there were 4 teams remaining, pretty with a high amount of players alive, and somehow none of them saw the solo player, and he was just down there and won the game in the end, actually in a 1v2. This is exactly what you want to see. 60 now. He's going to be tunnel vision by the guys, and now we're down to actually. Ooh, we have played Cedo taken out by the zone there in the end, so it's going to be a 1v3. Still unlikely. Does have the ghillie suit. They don't even see him.
He's got the
They do not see him.
Oh,
Why?
I should have taken the shot, but I guess he just being a little bit too careful.
He had a lot of
nerves.
a lot of opportunities to take the shot there, but ended up in Blade Cedo
What?
though. 10 kills, 19 for the team, and there you go. You wanted to see them win the first game. They didn't, but they came around for the second. 19 kills and 10 kills for Blade Cedo. Holy moly, that's one hell of a performance.
I'm trying to think about how LFO played that, and my
Oh, they were
brain
sitting
can't
sitting
really-
in here for a long time, and they were just picking off rotations left and right. I mean,
Well,
every time people
did
came
that
up
for
close,
what-
they annihilated them.
They did that for quite a while, but at the end of the game, they had one player in the shed. They had one player on the hill to the north that was just kind of allowed to sit there for a very long time.
Yeah.
They still had 2 on the high ground, so it's like from a very early point in that end game, they made the conscious decision to go out of the zone, kill as many people as they can, and with the situations that all squads find themselves in, that being having very little cover, not having a foreman to actually contest it with, or just not really playing aggressive enough, they were allowed to get they got away with murder there, I feel like, literally and figuratively.
Oh yeah, and they managed to. I mean, until the last 5 seconds before the game ended, they managed to stay alive with all 4 players. That's pretty damn impressive as
Yeah.
well. Really good job on their part. So guys, that was gonna be game number 2. We're gonna jump it over to the sandy dunes of Miramar after this game. Also, 65 kills on his part. That's a good job by him. Flames as well. I mean, they managed to get themselves 8 kill in the 4th place. They were kind of trapped in there in the end. Didn't maybe should have pushed out earlier. If they had been fortunate, they could have pushed out before Alliance managed to get up there on the hillside. Could maybe have helped them, but it's always easy for us to say. I mean, we can see everything and we know everything, and that's just different. Pony Riding and the guys from Team 8, they got kind of pinched over there in the corner, and they had the open field to run around in or to cross, and that just couldn't happen for them. So that was unfortunate. Also G2 finishing in the bottom Crimson as well. They were doing really good the first game, but not really coming around the second game here. Guys, my name is Tobias. The name is Toby Wiemler. I'm joined here about Mr. Ben Harris, Little Fuzzy Seal, and we'll be right back with the 3rd game after this short break. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, stay excited, and we'll bring you the 4th game in just a few. We are back, guys. Welcome back. We just finished game number 2, and wow, you wanted to see the guys from LFO have a good game first time round. They had a good start to
Yeah.
the first game, but didn't really come around in the end. But 19 kills in the first place. Holy wow, that's pretty
Man,
insane.
and the way that they played that end game was super impressive as
Oh yeah.
well. It really showed how comfortable they were asserting a dominant position in an end game scenario, which is not something we see a lot of teams do. It was good to see from them, and honestly, with that kind of skill set, the ability to identify and understand sight lines in an end game scenario. I feel like that's relatively important on Erangel, but on Miramar, that is going to be a super useful trait to have here in the mid and end game.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also, I mean, when you see, because they were sitting, as we talked about, they were sitting around the same compound for a while in the end game, and normally what you see is that if that's the team that ends up winning the game, then normally they don't have a lot of kills, because if they were actually allowed to sit in the same compound for that long, that's normally because other teams didn't contest them. So it's not that they didn't want to get kills, it's just, why would you want to move if you're sitting solid inside the zone? But these guys will get 19 kills. That means a lot of people tried to push them, and somehow, we just talked about that before as well, I mean, until 5 seconds into the before the game, and that's when the first guy died because of the zone. So they were contested all the times and constantly fought people off. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that is a trait of that particular set of compounds. So it's not too surprising to see that, but it still was impressive, to say the least. But we are going to Miramar, and Miramar will be running with some different settings. If you haven't played it somehow, it is the desert map.
Yeah,
I like it a
we'll just
lot.
get
It has some really cool end games.
I'll toss the rules up there. Now we can talk about them.
Yeah. So pretty much, more of everything is the basic idea. The big ones is definitely scopes, because the sight lines, especially in the mid game on Miramar, are very long.
Oh yeah.
Very long. And it's not quite there's like no cover. It's not that there's like open fields, but there's be a lot of divots, a lot of ridges, and mountain to mountain fighting. So if you don't have yourself a 4x, 8x, or at least a 2x, then you're gonna be having yourself a very hard time.
Yeah. I just want to say, I'm just letting people in. Since I'm also doing the server creation, I have to sort of multitask here in the beginning of things.
Yeah, Toby's the boss.
Yeah, I'm trying to do everything: casting, observing, adminning, hosting. I mean, wow, if I had an hourly wage of all those jobs, whoo, I'd be a millionaire.
At least $10 an hour minimum.
Yeah.
And even then,
Let's.
he'll still be a millionaire. Do a lot of casting.
Yeah. So here we go. It's gonna be. There you go. I'm back. I'm back. Let's just. I mean, I would like to bring up a scoreboard. We don't have it right now, but guys out there, if you want to see scoreboards, I know that they are updated on the ESU League homepage. It's just go on to ESUleague.com, go on to tournaments, and find the European Invite tournament. That's the one we're doing here right now. There are 2 games to go, as we just talked about. We're going over to the Sandy Dunes. I like to call it the Sandy Dunes, just because I mean that's what it is. It's a desert. And I have a trivia question for you. I don't know. Are you a farmer person by any chance?
Kind of.
You know a little
I
about
was
farming,
born
right?
in Kansas. But
Oh, that.
a little
Well, you're a
bit.
born farmer then, and then I mean it's in your blood. I have a question for you because I'm not a farmer, and there's something here that I don't get. How do you have a desert, right?
Mhm.
There's no water. We can agree. I mean, even the water treatment area is empty.
Yeah.
There's the ocean out around the corners, or out there around the coast there, but there's no water in. It's a desert. It's dead. How are there so many hay bales?
I'll import it, dude. Easy.
They import them and throw them onto their fields.
You think that's weird, dude? People like in the real world, people in the Middle East import sand
Oh,
because
that.
their own
What?
sand is just like they can't do anything with it. It's actually just like it doesn't have the right like content of. I remember what it's missing, but it's like import sand from other beaches because their own sand they
What?
have is too bad. They can't use it for things like concrete. So
Imagine
like,
importing sand to a desert. That's
yeah,
gotta be weird, right? I mean, I know that in Denmark,
yeah,
some of the fancy golf clubs in Denmark, they have like I don't even know, Saudi Arabian sand imported for their bunkers in the golf, like on the golf courses.
yeah,
But
yeah.
importing sand to the Middle East, that's if
It
that's
seems
where,
weird.
yeah, it is. It is kind of
Seems
strange.
unfortunate, honestly, because you got all that sand, you can't even do anything with it. That's the really crappy part.
That is
But
kind of weird.
luckily, this is not a like a building, a city building sim game. Like, luckily this is a battle royale game, so these players in the in game won't have to worry about that going to Miramar. They should worry about finding guns and killing people, which I think that's probably why we all came here.
Yeah, it's why we're here. We're not all about going uh, yeah.
Political city
yeah,
building
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I don't know.
let's not talk about
I like
that.
me a game of Civ.
And
I'll
Sims.
play some Civ.
Oh, you
but
do? You
I'm
do?
not
I
worried-
never,
I'm
I
not worried
never,
about my luxury resources
I
right
never
now.
tried that game. I mean, if we're going
very
to
fun.
strategy games, then all about like Age of Empires and Warcraft. But that's for another talk. That's for another talk. Let's get back into it. In 30 seconds. We're going to change things up. It's the new map. If you guys have not been awake for the past couple of months, then there has been another map. There also is a new map, even newer map than this one coming. Pictures has been revealed
They've been teasing two
already.
maps.
Yeah, they have
the
actually. Yep,
404
they have.
and the
They have.
8x8.
They have been teasing two maps, and one will come out before the other. We'll have that little island there, the tropical island. Will be exciting to see what's gonna happen. But first, we're going to the desert. It's gonna be exciting to see. I know where some of these teams like to drop. But I also know that a lot of these teams, they don't play against each other on a regular basis. So it's going to be exciting to see if we're going to have like some of them. Because there are a lot of cities. And we just got 14 teams here. So that's like practically a city for each team. You don't have that so often. But that just goes to show the size of this map.
That's something super interesting, both about Miramar in particular, but about leagues and the difference between leagues and like tournaments in general. Because when you have tournaments, they're just like a one-off. Maybe the teams haven't played against each other that much. The meta of where teams drop and where other teams avoid is like forming from game one onward. When you have these long leagues where teams are playing against each other in this long form format, then people are going to be able to figure out, and by at least a couple of weeks into the league, figure out where they are and are not allowed to drop. But on Miramar, a lot of these cities, it's kind of just, touch and go, because Laciano is big enough that multiple teams can sit without a fight.
I've
also
seen
the flight plan. It's so hard to go to the same place every game just because of how big the Miramar is.
Yeah, I've seen 5 teams drop Los Leones once. 5 teams, and they all got out of there without anyone fighting. That just goes to show,
right? Because you're like, someone has to fight now, right?
Do we have 3 teams going Picado? I kind of hope so. I don't think so, but they're
No
flying.
way.
They're flying over it, so I mean, it's. I think
This
one
ain't
of
a
them
fun
might
match.
go down. One of them might go over Picado. It's normally like you
definitely
can normally, because I'm not allowed to go spectate them. I think that's a bug recently. But you see Sunbird, he's doing circles now. Actually, he just touched down there. Wood Flames. I mean, I cannot go. We could go here and then we can look into the sky. No, they all early shoot it, so they're gonna be miles off. Might see
Makes
Flames
sense.
going. We do have G2. They're going for Power Grid. Not a place to see teams drop too often. I know that Knights like to drop up here, but well, with them of course not being in this tournament, they're not going to be dropping here this game. That makes good sense.
Not
to
going to
me.
be seeing him anytime soon.
No,
Looks like we do see. There's actually only 2 players going for that. So we see the other team of G2 going for other areas around. But actually, G2 Fancy fighting an AK and a 2X, taking shots at these parachuting players.
I mean, you might as well, right?
Probably hard to hit.
Yeah, not gonna happen, but you might as well see if you can do something. Pony Rider, he landed out in the middle of nowhere, probably tried to see if he can find a vehicle. Obviously has not managed to find a vehicle. Now he's crawling around, has a nice t-shirt on with some Chinese prints on it, but that's not gonna save him. But fortunately for him, though, they kind of stopped shooting at him. Nope, Renedy still taking shots. But you say, fortunately for him, iron sight and long range, that's not gonna be easy. We do have a bit of fighting going on though. Taylor from Tindergold has been knocked by Adja, and is he actually pushing him as well? Looks like he is. Milo is on the other side of the road though, could come to the rescue, but he's gonna have to come fast because looks like he got flushed. There you go.
These long drops into city fighting can get really awkward if teams aren't very prepared for it. Look around at where Tindergold is right now. Squad 8. They are very far away from each other. One player on the south side, another one happened to drop right next to Mocket, and now Tindergold was not ready to go here at all, and they're 2 split up, and they lost a player early on because of that. Meanwhile, Mocket very close, very willing and able to take fights early on. This is really bad for Tindergold. They might not even be able to form up by the time they leave. By the time
I know what you were
they
trying to
leave
say.
the city.
They did the wise thing though. You're just talking about that when you early shoot in somewhere, you know other teams could be in the area as well. And sometimes it comes down to who actually gets the first weapon and just starts sprinting. I mean, I think that's what Edge did. He just landed on a weapon, started running towards the guy, and took him out. And they did the smart thing here. They landed together. They have the opportunity to help out each other. And whereas you see, I mean, everyone else was pretty much like a 4 horsemen challenge in San Martin. They were all over the place, and they had no way, like you just said yourself, of coming to each other's aid if shit went down, and shit sure went down. So Tentagold down one guy early on in this one. We do have the first zone as well. Left side of the map, or west side, I guess. Not left, west side of the map.
Quite a few teams away from here. We see Crimson, the southwest side, getting the Prison, Los Tigos split, so they'll be very kitted up, as well as look at the south side of the zone right now. It's gonna be very easy for them to get in, and a lot of these roads, especially when you get further to the western side of the map, no one goes on those roads. Very, very unpopular. They should be having a pretty clear transition route for themselves. And honestly, for a lot of these guys on the southeast side, they're in Los Leones, they're in Puerto Paraiso, they're in Impala. If they take the right way in, once again, very few teams on the edge. They should have themselves some pretty safe transition routes to get into the first and second zones.
Oh yeah, yeah. But the thing being with this map, I mean, one thing is Miramar. You can kind of do whatever you want as far as driving around. Cause where did the crate go? Oh, it didn't land yet. I was gonna say what? Where is it? Where is it? MK2. That's a 16 times scope. Take 16 times. What do you call it? Binocular. If
yeah, binoculars, monocular for these.
If you use one for each eye, then it's 8 times. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, that'd be
I was
trippy.
trying to make a bad joke. Yeah, I know. I've been wondering, should it be added to the game that you could, like, if you don't have a weapon but you find it 8 times, you can still like take the scope up and sort of scout around? Would
Honestly,
that make sense?
I think that'd be really cool if you find like a scope, because then at that point you could like, oh, you don't have a gun.
It's really
but,
good
like,
for info though. It's
you
just
need to scout. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so sad to run around with an M16 and a UMP and an
Yeah.
8 times scope. It's like no.
Oh man.
It's the most frustrating thing. But if you could just
such
take
an
it up
annoying
like
change.
unarmed. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk
Oh,
about
oh,
this.
oh, flicks. No.
Oh,
What is
God,
up
the
with
second
people
time
and yeah, I mean that's just yeah. We saw it a lot yesterday as well. People and their driving abilities in this game.
Oh man, that reminds me. There was this one set of games with Nova where they had 4 different accidents in 4 games in a row. That must have been pretty tilting for them. But and it seems looks like they've been coming back from it recently. But over here, it looks like in the Hacienda area, the Flames rolling right up on Milla. And with Milla being low HP, Flames are definitely aware that
yeah,
he's over there and they're
he's
looking
there.
for blood. 2v1 coming out.
Yeah, see the vehicle there? They heard him coming in. I don't know how he took that much damage because I don't think he was fighting off the guys from Market early on. And he did. It looks like he did pop a first aid though, so he's back on HP. But Noise is for sure, as you just said, aware what's going on over there. He could potentially see some backup coming. Oh, the timing! There you go, gets it. There's around the corner. Oh, just for that's my luck. That's picture perfect PUBG for me right there. I can hold the same angle for 40 seconds. The minute I turn around, I get shot in the head. And when I go see the death cam, it's like, are you actually kidding me? He came from that exact place. I was just
like,
looking.
why am I even playing this game? Like, this
just...
is all luck. It's all RNG. Get me out of here.
Exactly. We do have Havu. They're pushing down. They're done looting El Pozo. They'll be coming down here towards the guys, the winners of last game. So these are like the first game winners and the second game's winners right now, squaring off against one another.
Yeah, and this is really aggro from this because G2 is the East as well. A lot of groups surprisingly going for standard compounds. It definitely is required to whether or not you're standing on a game-by-game basis. But looking over here, they do spot a couple of their teammates going on to the far east flank. But let's be very careful because G2 is right behind them. This could be really bad for Squad 14 for Havu Gaming.
Excited. They're making a run for it right now, a drive for it, I guess you should say. But now we do have LFO down the middle, and they're driving straight into G2.
Right here, so many rifles.
How is he?
Look in this direction, but they are getting gunned down by not by Havu, but by House of Nobles in the southwest.
They're coming in here as well. Speaking of god compounds, everybody wants a piece of this area, I guess you should say. That's insane. I have no idea how Insolensu was allowed to drive, I mean, literally 10 meters away from all the guys from G2 and not get taken down. And actually, there you go, gets the knock onto Fantasy. We'll be flushing him as well.
Upset. This could be another dynamic in the making, but he's going to recover, trying to get to it. Villa on the far left side, his teammate is helping him out there. There's only 2 players in front, Wacko and Steven, covering this one flank. Havu as well, supporting from afar. This Havu might actually be able to maybe maybe walk out of this, but maybe even finish off G2 here.
Yeah, it's gonna be really tough for them. They will need the help of their mates. You have Yorski. Oh, he does have 8 times, but he's miles out. He cannot even see his teammates because they're down a ditch on the other side. I don't really mind. Really far off as well. Has it 4 times, but that's not really gonna aid him that much. Look at how far away his teammates are. He needs to find a vehicle and just start ramming that field. Like just full speed ahead, go down and get the help because these and they can only stay here for so long, and they're in a 2v3. And not just that, but Whelan also has the MK14. And one thing is that it's a sniper, but if you put it to auto and you play it up close, that's like one of the most beastly ARs in the game.
Oh yeah, a lot of pretty good guns in the game right now. The problem for Habu is that they can't really leave because of that squad of their Southwest House of Nobles on the hills, and their team can't support them for the same reason. Look over here, G2 Velen. He will. Oh yeah, just as we look away, both those downs coming out from it looks like a flank from a Wacko was able to get those, and now. Yeah, this is what they couldn't really help out because their position wasn't secure enough for Habu to actually assist. And while they didn't lose all their players, luckily from guys to the north, at least they did lose half their squad from a bit of a just misfortune, I have to say.
Yeah, they were completely out of position, to say the least. Botsman, I mean, Bjorn is riding a 3-seater. It's a dangerous thing he got going for him, but for now at least he's staying alive. Stop doing what he can to sort of just keep the cover fire there for him to be allowed to get away. Looks like he will be able to get into safety as well, but the winners of last game losing Nayu, I believe, to House of Nobles early on as well.
The really interesting thing about the situation was that you look at the zone this big, you're just like, why were people fighting over that, right? Yeah. Oftentimes in Miramar, we do see a lot of teams tending to play edge, but what looks like what's approaching right now is, actually good to back that right now, because Moonwolf taking out one player of Alliance out and getting out. That is not cover Alliance, that's an open field.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That is one big open field. A couple of tractors, but other than that, just, yeah, that's, yeah, death.
But yeah, like I was saying though, a lot of teams will play edge. Compounds are generally weaker on this map, but sometimes in the dead center, you will oftentimes see 1 or 2, maybe 3 teams fighting over the centralized compounds. So that means the decision making that leads up to where you go in the early game matters so much more on this map. And already because of that, we're seeing quite a few small skirmishes break out in the dead center, and then there being about 1 to 2 kilometers of dead space in all directions away from the center.
Exactly. I mean, this is literally the same place 4 teams have been fighting over for the last while. G2 did end up getting themselves the compound. We do have House of Nobles up here on the top. I mean, they have a lot of good ridges pretty much in a 360, so they can cover from anywhere and they can look everywhere. But also, I mean, as we talked about on Erangel before, they still have to cover for that entire 360. So it's going to be really tough for them if people do decide to start pushing them, like from multiple angles. That's going to be really tricky. Do you see Flames way up north here? They're going to be pushing down, but will they be spotted by Larry and the guys? That's going to be interesting to pay attention to coming up to the Moonwolf. Of course, still looting up the 2 death guys from Alliance. Still becoming Wind and Rain coming in really late. They were looting down Port of Empire East, so they're actually going to be coming in. Yeah, super late. Crimson just made it inside, but they're going to be running up maybe towards the guys from Genside just up the hill.
Oh, yeah, I actually didn't spot that. They're up on the hill, but it looks like there is an entire hilltop between these 2 squads. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're even aware of this presence here. They will be getting the credit. I think Zimbabwe grabbed that one for himself. But it looks like these 2 players mostly just driving parallel to each other, one on one side of the hill, another on the other.
Yeah, giving each other some space to move around. I mean, these kind of roads, they're dangerous to drive. Also down here, I mean, everything down here is just huge valleys. Pretty much everything in the south. You'll see it down here. It's just one huge valley. You can be taken down from everywhere. This kind of reminds me of, what is it called from Star Wars? Putt racing? Where they drive around in those valleys and they have those like big, like what are they called? Those like the bad desert guys that stand up there with guns, like yelling weird things at them and shooting at them.
They're called sand people.
Yeah, exactly.
I think is what you're talking about.
That's kind of what it reminds me of. Like these evil people standing with scopes up on the top, just shooting at them and yelling weird things. I guess these guys can emote instead of yell, so that's
They could emo, yeah. That could happen. I do. That was the first impression I got when I was playing this. I was looking at the valleys, as being like, oh no. Exactly. Luckily, that doesn't happen too much, mostly because it's really hard to actually make that play worth it unless you're just locked into playing edge. We do see here Bjorn though clearing the way with some 6 downs for his squad. There is a couple of rifles trained in this direction. They're trying to contest this movement here, but it looks like these vehicles just a little bit too far away from House of Nobles. Mendux making just a bit of a jump into a building there. They have more than enough vehicles though to keep them all safe in future transitions.
And this is the kind of vehicle setup I've seen a lot of teams go back to. Double bikes, obviously, and then take a buggy instead of having 2 cars. Because I mean, with the coupe terrain, with so many different ridges and levels, you need to keep that high speed no matter where you go. And the vans, if you try to accelerate uphill, I mean, you're just dead. I mean, it's not gonna happen. In the meantime, we were talking about Flames as they're rotating down. They're gonna be taking up a little fight against Tindergold now.
Yeah, Tindergold moving into the compound. We can see the minimap. They're grabbing that compound with one of their players, securing that for them, while Flames are actually going for a pretty big flank on the northern side. It looks like with their current position, Tindergold is not too willing to take this fight. They want to get their vehicles. They want to keep them safe for future movement. But Flames looking to take a fight. They might be able to grab some of these stragglers.
Oh yeah, I mean you do have Veclear kind of separated from his team. He's going to be coming in with a vehicle really slowly now, actually. So they could be taking some shots down towards him. Slim, will he be able to connect them? Oh, actually, not taking the shots. Why? He wants to keep his flank angle, maybe as a surprise. He's up here alongside Hamster, so they could be. I mean, they're still way inside the zone, so might as well just stay up here and wait for them to stand still for a bit too long.
Yeah, and look how many current idiots there are. And I see a lot of level 2 helmets for Flame. There's definitely one-shot potential here.
Exactly.
As they are controlling this hill. They are looking for some decent angles. And with this hilltop, a lot of possible firing ports. They can get a very, very wide spread. Kind of like what you were talking about earlier. Get up on the hilltops, emote at them. Then you're cosplaying some Star Wars characters. But at the very least, it looks like, they're not too willing to take this fight. Just saying, okay, we have the hilltop. We can easily move all the way around. Let's just play it nice and safe.
Yeah, no, and also they don't have a ghillie suit or like the brown bandana, so they don't even look like them. So I might as well just get down and do something else. They lost that cosplay. Yeah, bad cosplay. A lot of the teams that we talked about before, Moonwolf, I mean, they're coming in extremely. They were just talking about Wind and Rain making it late, but Moonwolf doing it even slower. I mean, they're going up mountains and down mountains. That's what's costing them so much time. The zone is pushing in, and it's not because it does that much damage at this point, but enough for people to be forced to use those 1 or 2 boosters that they probably would have wanted to keep for later stages of the game.
We do see over here in Southern El Pozo, 1 and LFO, that's 6 and 4 respectively, as they do find themselves being neighbors in adjacent compounds. There also is a road separating these 2 squads, so it will be hard to actually push in here with that little rooftop that they have for themselves. Once again, very hard to push. Might be getting some downs here, but it's gonna be hard either way for anyone to gain any picks here.
Yeah, also, there's not really a reason for them to push. I mean, right now, I think what teams are doing is just chilling, waiting for the new zone to pop. It is going to pop now. Half of El Pozo is gonna be here, and the field. We saw Havu and 3 other teams contest this compound. Now we know why. This is by far one of the best positions to play around right now. You do have El Pozo, the city. That's scary and random from time to time. Slim and the guys now trying to see if they can do something. Oh, actually, just vaguely hit a ditch there, but fortunately, it was far enough away to stay in the clear.
Oh, a little bit of bumper cars as they do get out of there, but I'm wondering where they're actually going to go here. They do have a couple of hills on the north side, but that is currently owned by Mocket. Now, it isn't like they can cover this whole side. Look at this big rock here. Mocket can't see through that rock, at least I hope not. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. But Tindergold pulling up here, that might be audible by Mocket.
I mean, they've heard it for sure. They heard it.
Yeah, and if they do get guns over here, there could be a possible ambush lying in wait for the future of Tindergold.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sona's gonna pushing in. It's gonna push in. And just 30 seconds from now, Moonwolf's still not inside the zone. They got quite a ways to go. Maybe Strategos have heard what's going on down there. Looks like it hasn't, and they're gonna be continuing moving. But the guys from Moonwolf has to continue moving as well. Look at the zone. We still have 50 players. Half the server capacity is inside this zone right now, guys. This is just goes to show the size of this map.
I really like the spot of Team 8 right now, but there are 3 squads to their west. They're currently engaging 1, but with the zone pushing these guys in, they're all going to be meeting Genside in the middle here, and that's going to be bad if your name is Genside, because there's a lot of people coming in. Crimson as well, coming in from the south as well. I'm not sure if they can really push this that well.
No, they're gonna be going for the compound. It looks like that teammate actually just abandoned early on here. Sunbird and the guys from House of Nobles, they've been sitting up here for, well, pretty much the entirety of this game, moving up here early in first circle. Moonwolf coming up here as well, though. Looks like Lockwood wasn't expecting this. He thought it was his teammates coming around the corner. Did not take shots until very late there.
Wow, Moonwolf, they brought their 4-leaf clovers, but Crimson NBS on the wrong side of cover. He can't get beyond the cars. Genside getting that kill. And oh no, in the kill finish, see O'Connell taking down O'Connell for Moonwolf. Their journey is not over yet. It's like a little bit of luck, but stop on these hills, finding Crimson Lockwood. One bad down is turning into a full-on just demolishment of their squad's position on this hillside. His teammates trying to just pick that squad to pieces. I think there's only 2 members left from Crimson in that compound now.
Yeah, and this is kind of what we wanted to see from teammate throughout the game. They were really unfortunate with the zones early on in the Erangel games, but it looks like they found themselves a good ground. It looks like actually Stuff is gonna be pushing. Oh, I guess I'm going somewhere. What? Okay. I was just gonna say Stuff was pushing down. Not quite sure what the purpose of that push was. I mean, there is a ridge down here that could have worked in handy for him, but he would have been taken out from behind by Moonwolf anyway. It was kind of greedy. They get the first knock, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably staying up here would have been the wiser choice in the end, but they don't have cars, they only have bikes, so not a lot of, I mean, if you can really count a buggy as a bike that's cover. I guess there's a van here, I didn't actually spot that. But Bjorn all by himself now as Genside push closer to him as well. He's trying to gatekeep, but in 1v4, I mean, that's not the kind of situation you want to be in. That's a rollover.
Teammates spreading themselves out way too thin, and now what could have been a pretty good gatekeeper now turning into death in general. Because look at this, Bjorn getting plugged to the south side. He gets transport from the far west, but there's still so many guns I can see in this direction now. Bjorn is falling back. You see a couple of grenades going out from Genside. The Molotov right where he was a couple of seconds ago. Good thing he moved because that would have landed on his head right there. Yeah, but with the news unpopping, even they will have to try to recover from this poor situation and then go to the long journey to the zone. Genside though is taking a lot of damage here.
And Itchidrop just got knocked by the zone. I don't know exactly how that ended up happening, but they should have pushed a long time ago if they were taking that much damage from the zone. Bjorn, I guess, I mean, in the end, that kind of worked out for him because he had the guy's Pony and I believe it's Minox alive down here. They were Chota giving him some cover fire as he tried to get away from there. And with 2 knocks having just come in, that's gonna be enough for the guys to to play it off here. Looks like
it wasn't as aggressive.
Actually, Andrea gonna be pushed by the zone as well. So just 1 person remaining now from Genside. What could have been a 4-on-1 push from Genside just turned into 2 guys dying to the zone and Kylan getting knocked by 1, and that just not at all working in their favor. Flames though pushing up the hill.
Yeah, Maka here on the north side. Oh no, that is not gonna avoid the running pickup truck, as we do see Noise barely avoiding that. Jones and Noise at pretty low HP. Very good situation for Maka. Another frag taking out Hamster. There are some trades coming out with only 2 members up from Flames and members on both the right and left sides of this hill. This is looking really bad for the Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah, it's not gonna be some Noise knocked as well, so Jones is gonna run back down. Might as well, I mean, he is inside the zone, and with this entire team knocked, now you have Tentacle coming around the backside as well here. Go inside one of those buildings, prone, and hope for the next 2 zones, and get yourself into better placement, because I do not want to fall out in 14th place, I mean. Pony Rider now knocked again, actually. I think that's the 3rd time he gets knocked this game. Also, the zone is pushing in, so even if he does get rest by official Bjorn, he might be able to get the meds going.
There's no way.
But look at this. He's dropping all his items here. There's no way he's gonna be able to do anything. And also, if he gets rest, I mean, the zone is gonna keep. You can see how fast he ticks now because he's outside the zone. So both the bleeding and the zone is gonna deal damage. There's no way he's gonna get rest there. So unfortunate for him. Miller though, and his teammate, I don't know who is. It's Martin trying to see if they can do some damage towards knocked down the hill.
Yeah, they're getting a couple of shots. They are only in a 2v4, but hitting a lot of shots, but a lot of arm shots as well, doing very reduced damage from that Scar. Gonna be having to pull back, and that little ambush was kind of their only chance here. Now that Maka has all 4 rifles trained north, Milla and co realize they can't make that push work. Ooh, look over there. Look at the northwest of Poza. There's a lot of different things actually on the south side as well. Look at that GP just completely eliminating the House of Noble. That was fast.
I mean, a little help from Crimson, I guess, and actually Pipers and Lockwood, they're gonna continue shooting over towards the guys from D2. Wow, that was just complete annihilation of House of Novus. There was nothing they could do. They had a little ditch down there they thought was good cover. G2 pushed down, Crimson was up on the other side, and bada bing, bada boom, 2 seconds later they're all dead. And now Alliance actually really taking some good shots here. They've got a good split going here. If the zone goes down to favor them again, they could be in a very doable position with the split here. They might want to somehow get together though.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of these squads that have been fighting the entire game on the south side have suffered a lot of losses. Alliance, G2, as well as that third squad, I don't remember who it was. They only have 2 members left, but up here on the hilltop, we do see the players from out of El Pozo are getting taken down by Tindergold. 1 down, 2 downs killing out from this squad. There's only the 2 that made it to that small shed. I am Leary and his squad mates, 1 getting demolished. This is a big shootout as the players from El Pozo are forced into no cover provided by the field.
Yeah, this is not gonna be easy. You got the cover, you got the hillside. This next zone is gonna be devilish. You do have all these small squares, like the small rooftops over the hay bale stacks. They can grant for some cover, but with the entirety of Mugget being up here, you're not gonna prone out in the field because the foliage distance is not gonna help you. For them, it's just gonna be a person, well, lying on a pancake. There's not gonna be any grass to cover you on the far distance. I mean, and at this point, we talked about the settings to the server with the little, not a lot, but like a little boost to scopes and stuff. Everyone's gonna have at least the 2 times at this point in the game. So I mean, people have the opportunity to take long range shots, and you can see it's just from here. That's where the foliage starts. I mean, I have it on low only for. I mean, we could put it on high for the viewing experience, but I would rather have it so that the player or that the viewers can see what the players are seeing as well. And I mean, that's just not a very far distance for the grass not to be a factor.
So this might look really bad if the squads are in the field.
Oh yeah,
and it is.
Yeah, and it is.
That being said, but the field is a significant portion of the zone, and the squads that are in the hilltops are on these zone edges. So if they have to leave, running down that hilltop is worse than being in the field.
Oh yeah.
So right here, though, we do see G2 getting some shots onto Alliance as they make their way in. Once everyone is forced into this field, that'll be even playing ground. And if they have to go down, Mocket is not going to survive that journey down. They just won't.
No, for sure. That's way out in the open, and it's going to be completely impossible for them to do it near. Jones, not exactly sure what his plan is either. Doesn't have a vehicle as far as I'm concerned. Oh, yeah, the car did roll back down, so he might actually have a vehicle down there somewhere. But yeah, I mean those small hay bale stacks with roof on could grant for some good cover actually. With I mean right now Mugget is kind of the only guys with a higher ground position that could be shooting out in the fields. I guess Larry
but they're not.
and the guys as well. They aren't. Well, they don't want to make people aware that they're there because with the zone pushing in, if the next zone goes down to the field, they want as few people as possible to know that they're up here, because as you just said yourself, if they're going to be running down the hill, that's going to be death coming in for them. Ooh, how did that shot not connect? I would assume that was a headshot, but
might have hit the small bar, but where he spotted that Car 98 and realizing, look at that little icon on the bottom. That is a level 2 helmet he has, which means that there's a lot of one-shot potential. This shed, though, the only bit of cover that they are provided, which might be one of the better spots in the zone, but there are still players contesting them on their east, west, and southern flanks. They're literally surrounded right now.
Look at this, Jones. He could take the bike over here. Probably shouldn't.
Oh, he's looking at it.
Yeah, I know. But he knows that there's a team up there. And Mugget knows that they lost 1 guy down the hill. Oh, looks like Lockwood just took out the entirety of Alliance there. He did get a knock on to 60 early, and now he took out Weezy as well. So doing the smart thing here, maybe. Let's see where. Oh my God, there's nobody, and this is just gonna be the hillside. This is the end game, guys. This is the end game. Welcome to Miramar. We love you. That's horrible.
I said earlier that Miramar endgames are always really exciting and fun, but this is
horrible.
Disgusting, I gotta say.
And Jones is dead.
It was like Jones has to sign.
At least it did it for the viewers. That's a good way to go down. If you're gonna die anyway, you might as well do something fun. And instead of nading himself, he just went for the somersault.
God, 9th place with 16 alive. So many.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's so many teams remaining. Look at the amount of solos. Wind and Rain, Official Bjorn, Havu, Veklier as well. I guess he has his teammates up here. 2-man team, 2-man team. The only 4-man is Mugget. They're currently the only team in the zone as well.
How is their cover right now?
They actually have. I mean, if they could get down here, they could prone.
Oh, this is decent.
But because Wind and Rain, I mean, he has to push. They have to push somewhere as well. So if they can stay like up here in this position, they could have some pretty decent cover. And they have snipers, all of them anyway. So I mean,
this is really good for Mocket.
Yeah, it actually is a pretty good position.
All right, but over here, looks like a couple players trying to make their moves here. A vehicle pickup going in for Mr. Tien, getting sprayed down by the Scar. A lot of people will be able to see this gets to the field. He gets out, middle of nowhere. No hope for him. Getting gunned down, leaving his friend Milla behind with nothing to do but try and shoot his way in. There are two players. Can he win this 2v1 with his zone at his back?
Milo is proning outside the zone. That's not gonna save him, not for long at least. He's gonna try to make a move down here, but both of the guys from team number 6, they know exactly where they have him, so it's just gonna be a matter of time. Hit twice there.
These no pieces.
But they're forced to fight on a lot
no.
of fronts as well, though. Oh, nice shot coming in there. So now we have just regular remaining for their team, and Larry knows that he's down there as well. In the meantime, what's gonna happen here? Lockwood pushing up to the next haystack bell. Hay bell stack.
It's cover. It's in.
Yep,
Okay.
he is in, but he's got the entirety of G2 snaking his way. And that's what we're just talking about. Look at this. They're proning up towards Lockwood, and that's kind of a sneaky position. But if they look down the hill, they can just see two people in the middle of the field, and they're just Smithers out in the middle.
That happened to Steven. He has to go. Oh, well, he's dead now.
Yeah,
He didn't last very long at
Steven
all.
did get taken out. Lockwood, though. Oh, he's coming up close! He didn't hear him! He did not hear him coming around the corner. So Veland will outlive Crimson in this fight. Now there are only 2 teams remaining.
The fight for second place has ended.
All the solos just got annihilated in a matter of 3 seconds. I think we went from 5 to 2 teams remaining in just, well, 2 seconds pretty much. And they know exactly where Veland is.
That's a lot of points.
Veland, I don't know if you're a Twitch streamer. If you win this fight, I will subscribe to your channel. That's,
oh man,
that's a
that was
guarantee.
super impressive, honestly.
It really was. If he wins a 1v4 with this, with
Nope. Nope.
yes, but no.
No.
There's no way in
They-
hell
they
that's
know
happening.
exactly where he
They're just
is.
lasering. They're just shooting down towards where they know he is. So the second he peeks, he's gonna be taken down. There's no way. He might as well just nade himself. And I mean, we saw that happen yesterday.
Deny the kill
Yeah,
points.
exactly. But we might as well just deny them 7 points. He's not gonna get anything out of this. If he gets a knock, he cannot re-peek it to get the kill anyway. Might as well
Oh,
just
man.
nade himself. But I mean, of course, he does not know. Just for those of you guys who don't know out here, the fact that we can see the amount of teams remaining in the game, that's only us. I mean, it could be a 2-man team up here, and then he doesn't know that the other guys are there. But there you
Nope.
have it.
He'll figure out right now that is not the case. That's pretty good for him because that means he got second place.
And really
in
good,
a situation
really good
where you
push
know
as
you're
well.
dead, second place isn't bad.
Really good 2-man split though. They knew where they had him and they pushed around the corner instead of just like one guy YOLO flanking and potentially dying. That was a really good 2-man split from Market there in the end. So we were gonna call it out on them having to push down the hill. That was gonna be tough, but in the end they made it work and won the game. Just the 8 kills. I mean, 8 kills is Here we go, guys, back and ready to bring you the third of four games of today. For those of you guys just tuning in, we are doing the ESU League EU invite version, I guess you should say. The EU invite of the ESU League, I guess is the right way. My name is
Yeah.
Tobias, the name is Toby, and I'm joined here alongside by Mr. Seal, the little fuzzy one of the kind. How are
Hello.
you?
Hi, guys. That's me. I had a really good time today, actually. The Erangel games were pretty good. We saw a super sick play in game one from Dynamic from Team LFO, who
Oh yeah, oh
went
yeah.
later to win game two.
That was
What?
that was a pretty
Yeah, that did happen.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
Hopefully someone clipped it because that guy deserves like at least 50
I mean, one
followers for
thing
the
is
what he
that he
just did today.
1v3'd. One thing is that he 1v3'd. He did get a little bit of help from Wind and Rain over by the containers, but the fact that he had just 4 bullets remaining, everybody was calling, "Yep, this guy's dead." And then he tosses one nade and kills the last 2 guys with it. That's just, I mean,
It
wow.
is insane.
That was, I mean, that was pretty insane. I just tossed up the list of teams here participating. As far as I can tell, since I was confused by the fact that we were only 14 teams in the game and there are 15 teams on the list. Team Expert, not really, not here today. I don't
Not
know
performing
if
that well
they're.
because they
I mean,
don't exist
there's
right now.
yeah, there are a ton of roster changes around there, and sort of teams and splitting and disbanding and creating new teams. I don't know. So it can have something to do with that, or maybe they just overslept or had to do homework for tomorrow. I don't know. A lot of things could happen, and we don't know why they aren't here. But I'm assuming that they'll be back for next week. So
Hopefully,
so
we got a lot of
let's
teams.
hope
We
for that.
got a
It's
lot of
always the more
leagues.
teams we get in here, the better, I guess.
Yeah. Well, at least once we get to 16. After that, it's a little bit questionable.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So
Well, we are
let's
going
let's hope. Yeah.
into
Oh,
Miramar.
yeah, Miramar.
Next game.
Once again, we. I'm always skeptic because I mean, if you don't get urban endings on a Wrangle, you normally get pretty good, or as long as it's not too much water, you get pretty decent open end games on a Wrangle. But on Miramar, I feel like it's like pest or cholera. It's like if you get urban, it's always just urban end games with people hiding in the corners and waiting to like the death zone coming in. And if you get open fields, it's still just ridges and people hiding and waiting for the death zone. But at least here we've got like the open hillside and the field, so that was kind of a good variation, I guess you could say, to the whole thing.
I'm gonna disagree. I agree with as far as the urban end games from Miramar, but I really do like the outdoorsy end games from Miramar. As long as you don't get something really, really dumb, which last game was a little bit like, okay, how does who won game 3? Oh my goodness.
Mucket won it.
Mucket.
Won it.
Yeah, how does Mucket lose this? Like they'll have to like jump
Yeah,
off
there's
the
no way
hill
in
and
hell.
kill
There's no way in
themselves
hell.
to lose that game. But oftentimes we will get situations where it's a very, very balanced end game. There's a lot of ridges, and rather than sort of waiting to take fights, we have a lot of teams that are trying to take isolated fights, clear out corners of the zone for themselves, and do their best to take isolated team fights rather than kind of what we saw in game 2 on Erangel, kind of just wait and let the zone do whatever it's going to do and then try to not die in the process.
Yeah,
it sort of lets
exactly.
a couple of teams that are a little bit more willing to take charge of the zone and take those team fights. It allows them to do that a little bit easier.
And that's what we saw. I mean, G2, they come in, they conquered that compound up by the split up there early on. They pushed out
Super
Habu, the
early.
two guys there, and that netted them the second place in the game. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about. It's not necessarily. I mean, I'm not gonna go out and say that the guys that push early they're gonna win the game because it doesn't always happen like that. But the guys that commit to their decisions, we've seen so many teams lose players because either they were too split or they were just like deliberately split for no reason. I mean, in situations where you see people rotating in, why would you run a push somewhere else? You saw stuff. I think it was. I mean, there are tons of things going on in their Discord that we don't know. They're talking like they're planning things, and of course it
Mm-hmm.
makes sense for them. But the fact that they have the higher ground up there, and they got a knock onto one of the players from, I believe it was Crimson, down there in the shack that they had just left
Yes.
themselves. And knowing that there could still be three guys down there, he just took the bike and sprinted down the hill and got taken out while doing so,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that he had his entire team up the hill. That was a little unfortunate, and yeah, I don't know. There might have been a great idea behind it, but maybe I'm just not skilled enough to analyze
It's
what it was.
there is a lot of just question marks that happen when it comes to PUBG. When it comes down to a lot of the strategy, it does come down to just odds. We're like, okay, you killed one guy. That's one less person that could be looking at you, which means that you're less likely to get shot going down.
Exactly.
But there is a likelihood of getting shot there.
Yeah.
So it comes down to making the best, like just high value, I guess, decisions, and whoever makes the most of those decisions in a league wins, as well as can shoot straight.
With that being said, we are going to go into the fourth and final game of today. It's pretty much straight south to north plane. We have seen Crimson. I never see this, but Crimson has been looting up the south side island. Two guys going Los Hijos and two guys going over towards
They
prison.
get
You
so
don't
much from this.
exactly because nobody's contesting them. Wind and Rain kind of doing the thing Ghosts do over in the NA side of things, down by Porto Paraíso and looting up down there. Genside has been kind of making a deal with Moonwolf here, saying, you know what? We'll take the northwestern side. You can take the southeastern side of Los Leones, and then we'll just stick. We'll do our own thing, and then maybe we can meet later and have a beer, or I don't know, if we kill each other. That's also an
Are
option.
you implying these two teams are teaming?
No, but they just haven't. They maybe what do you call it? Unpurposely in I don't
Oh man,
know.
I know what we're thinking about, but
Not on purpose, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. Alliance, they're going to be.
incidentally, there
Yeah,
we
there you go.
go.
Incidentally, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Teaching me English. I'm not a
there
native
we go.
speaker, so I mean that's of course you will
Oh,
always be.
could have fooled me.
Yeah. Sunbird and the guys, House of Nobles, looting up Picado. We know that the arena up there in Picado, they always knit you like 16 ARs, so
Oh,
that's something. We have Copenhagen Flames. They'll be looting up down here as well. And we see again Martin and the guys from Tentacle. They lost one guy, I believe it was Taylor, really early on last game because they split up, and they're kind of doing the same thing again.
it's the exact same
Ooh.
split, but I think I see the intent of what they're doing now. Because if we look at the kind of, oh, actually, enough of that right now. We see two guys in
Yeah,
the
this
same
is
combat
not
over
good.
here.
This is a Danish standoff, the Danish derby. Official Bjorn chasing Hamster across the field here. Pony is
Oh
becoming
boy.
around as well, and that's not gonna happen. Nope,
Yep.
Hamster going down. And that, again, guys, the benefit and the risk and danger of splitting up like this. I mean, there's no follow-up on this. And even if there was,
Yeah.
I mean, whoever had joined him down there would probably have died too, because Bjorn had an AR and the other guys were just running around like.
Copenhagen Flames just kind of got to take that on the chin. But I,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
do think that I see
Wow.
for the San Martin split, if we can just
Wow.
oh,
There's one team inside the zone. Holy crap!
oh.
The plane went up on the west side of the map, and let's go to the east. And the thing is, I mean, with this map, we do say that the map is as big as it is. You got Impala, that's up for loot. Looks like Alliance will actually go over there. They'll be sitting themselves pretty good. We have El Azahar up here as well. But what people forget to know is this entire side from here. You can see my mouse, right? I am assuming
Yeah.
you can. This entire part is not accessible. It's like a big mountain hillside. You cannot get up there. You cannot get up this part. So this is not going to be accessible. The water, of course, well, I mean, the water is accessible, but you know what I mean? So pretty much, it's just half a zone.
And the fields on the southwest side as well, those aren't going to be played as
No,
well.
these
So
are
there's
horrible.
actually a lot of space that is cut out. There are quite a few compounds, and that area to the west and northwest and somewhat central area as well.
Yeah, you
are
got some
quite
areas up
hilly.
here. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a
Also,
lot
you
of
have the
places
valley down
to
here.
go,
Like this entire
but
valley here is pretty good, yeah.
but the problem is that it's gonna be hard for people to get there because they're so far away. Then they're gonna need to be, predicting, is anyone here yet? Who all has showed up? I don't know. I have no idea what's going on because there's so many variables coming to play for when teams will decide to make their way in. And actually, Bjorn will be the first one making his way into the zone. Honestly, if you are Team 8, that's Team 9 there with Pony Rider, Bjorn, and the rest of those guys, then they really have like easy pickings on where they want to go. But where that is, I'm not quite sure.
Same. The thing is also, I mean, we've been talking about gatekeeping a lot today. There are 3 big road entry points. You have it down here, you have it up here, you have it down here. If you want to make it over the hills here, it's bumpy and ritchy as hell, and people don't want to come into new zones with low speed, because I mean, people at this level, they're just so good at aiming that if you drive a car with 30 miles an hour, you're gonna be taken out. So I mean, the entry points to this zone, La Bandita, you gotta jump straight down there and go back up on the other side. Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna swing through Minas Generales because they'll be cut off there as well. This is just a huge hole in like a huge valley going through here. Nobody's gonna do that. So there's only a few entry points to this zone. As we just said, 14 teams and just 2 teams inside. 12 teams will have to make this run within the next couple of minutes. And I mean, I'm just calling it now. There are gonna be a lot of people dying to rotations early on in this game.
Wind and Rain having a odd split right here. We see 3 other guys in the southwest on the south side, and then 1 other player on the bridge connecting Los.
Oh, he's all the way down here. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, there you go.
Unless he's sitting here trying to take out Crimson on the transition, then I'm not sure what the plan is. But he does have a lot of loot there. There's a little town. He's got some cryos for himself as well. Those little stone buildings with the other 2 stories have a lot of loot. That's without the additional Miramar loot settings here in the competitive game types. So he should be able to get himself relatively kitted. But we're looking around though. We are seeing a couple more people beginning to make their way in. Milady. We're gonna see if we can find his team at home.
Let's just get some backflips going here. Guess that. But also one thing is, I mean, and that's the thing with the map not being updated yet. And I don't know if this map is a lot of screenshots from high above that they then put together, or if it's like a art, like drawed map. But I believe it was 1 or 2 patches ago. Because people were saying, you know what, I mean, where do you want us to go? We cannot go on the roads because we'll get killed there. And if we go off road, then we'll get killed because our cars are fucking flying all Oh, I just swear it. Cars are flying over the place. So what they did was, like you just saw there, they implemented a lot of these small dirt roads, which you cannot see on the map. Like you don't really see there's a road here, but they implemented a ton of these small crossing routes throughout the map that just to sort of allow people to get around. And those I think will be used a lot. But of course, with all these people scrimming as much as they do and practicing, they know exactly like where people like to come through, coming into different zones. So I mean, believe me, people are gonna be sitting around waiting for people to push through. I do like Miller and the guy from Tinder Goals their early push though, because they are sitting up on the east side of this huge valley
Oh
here.
yeah.
So should the zone push over to them, then they'll just say, you know what, guys, you can come try and claim our mountain, but you won't get anywhere near here because we'll
This
kick you
compound
down before you get here.
or that warehouse to the east is exactly where I thought that Tinder Gold would be going. One
Yeah,
of these two centralized
exactly.
locations. And this particular spot has a lot of windows facing that valley, facing that transition route. And already they should be able to see that player we see on the minimap right now to the south, who is
Yeah, it's
going
gonna be
across
official
this
Bjorn, I
valley
think. He's going
right down
there.
there. Yeah, right there.
Just had to find
Bjorn.
it. I tried to do it super fluent and cinematic, but it
Yeah.
ended up being really ugly. And
Like a 450-degree turn of the camera. Like, where'd he go? I don't know where
you
he's
see,
at.
this is pretty cinematic. We can do this too. There you go.
And get the UI out of here.
And
Make
boom.
this, oh.
That wasn't the plan, Bjorn. What are you doing?
Cinematic.
With that being said, though, Vekler in the meantime squaring up against Steven. Yep, that's gonna be the again open road fights. Steven, boop, taken down. You gotta commit to the roads, but you gotta, and that's the kind of thing. I mean, some people can toss it on RNG and whatnot, but you gotta commit to the roads, but you gotta know when to commit on the roads. Like you gotta have a feel somehow, a sixth sense, telling you when are the other teams going to push like towards the zone and when are we. I mean, of course, with the new addition to the map, like to the plane, where you can see how many people are still inside the plane. You kind of know in which direction people have been jumping, and with that knowledge, you gotta sort of realize, okay, with the zone being over here, how many teams are close to it and how many teams are far away. So how many teams would have to push early to get there, and then you gotta make your run. So either you position yourself early, like we saw Miller and the guys do, so they can just sit around and wait, or you come in late enough that other teams won't be focusing on you because they're doing something else.
It does look like we've gotten to the point of the game where a lot of players have realized the same thing that we did, which is the sooner you get here, the better. So already we're seeing quite a few teams making their way in. Alliance in the southeast. We're seeing a Team 8 getting a little bit spread out, as well as I believe that is Team 1, that is House of Nobles, making their way in through the center, having a little bit of trouble on these hills. But looking over here, it looks like they're already heading toward a combat that Alliance is playing for themselves.
Yeah, and House of Nobles definitely. I mean, they had a pretty good thing going for them last game, but they just haven't really. Yeah, it's as if they haven't really found the rhythm of like their play style. Well, maybe their play style, the way that they like to play, just hasn't worked with the opponents they've been up against, because they have not really. Every time they try to do something, they've just come up short against people that either took them out, like either they got sandwiched between teams, or their calls just, as you saw right there, like kind of tossed them straight into opponents where they had no chance to sort of do anything.
Ziggsy hears the cars actually and is actually leaving the combat.
He's super aggressive.
Spotting Sunbird out. He might get it, actually claim it down here. There are a couple of ridges that Sunbird can drive in, and it looks like the terrain will be in his favor. I think they'll be able to get away, but I'm looking down the road. It looks like they're actually dismounting to engage Stoff, who's in his own vehicle.
Exactly, just on the other side of the road, and that's the thing, man. That's Miramar for you. Ridges all over the place. Stoff is actually going to be one to get a lot of shots out towards the guys. Gets the first knock onto Sunbird. Botsman, though, leaving the car immediately, but now Stoff is going to take fire from different angles as well. Miller, though, on top here.
No.
They could really look to fight this as well. Stoff with the second knock of his game. Finished them people off there. He's taking fire still. Pony is coming around the top here, so he should be in a close of Minox, having heard probably on Discord, we need help, just full on committed to go down and help his team, but Vanity could potentially cut him off. Oh, if he wasn't sitting inside that dumpster.
He's the solo. He's not gonna be looking for any fights anytime soon. We see him in one.
Oh, he is. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, good call. Good call.
That was his team that just went down. So he's gonna be sitting in this compound, hoping that no one checks this small crate and seeing that, okay, there's a big warehouse right there. That's where we want to be. Hold that. Don't look over here.
Don't come to me. Yeah, exactly. Was that the entirety of House of Nobles that just went down again? It was. It was. Vanity, the only guys who just said remaining. Pony trying to connect with Menox and Bjorn up top here. Stuff still kind of trapped. I mean, he does have a car, but want to make sure that people aren't still looking at him. Wise move on his part. We do have, who is that over here? That's going to be 60 and the entirety of Alliance, though. They're somewhat close. He did find a bike, but nope, not going to go for it. Shots coming in. He's going to make a run for it.
Oh yeah, look at this. He's just following this ridges precisely where they are, getting up and down, making sure he can minimize the amount of time that Alliance can see him. Looking like a lot of other squads have found themselves some homes along that sort of like a north to south stretch along the zone. Not as many players in the hills as I would thought, but honestly, yeah, look at that. Crimson. On the very bottom left of the screen. There's a couple of squads that are a little bit more willing to blue tank. It's very popular on Miramar.
Depending on where, if this zone goes north, they won't be able. I mean, even if they just keep downshift and go as fast as they can, they will not be able to connect before like the third zone starts pushing into the fourth, because the map is as big as it is, and some of them are on boats, so they're forced to go all the way around here. What I'm hoping for though is to see the zone go out here right now. Let's go.
Oh God.
Come on. I've never seen this.
Come
on!
That's pretty sadistic. Oh no, look north though. And actually, for our voting squad, there's a couple of compounds on that northeastern section that they could beach on.
Ajay, winner of last game alongside the other guys from Mug, taken down. Looks like could be. Yeah, he will be able to get rest by his team. A lot of fire coming in though. Genside taking out Nair. Those are the winners of the second game for today. It's gonna be the guys from LFO. Yep, LFO. Yep, that is the name, right? Yeah, it is. It is. Just had to rethink for a second. But what I was saying before, it just becomes way more not viable, more relevant with this zone. We called the mountain not being accessible, and look at the amount of water. This is like half a zone. This is like a zone 4 in a zone 2.
Yeah.
Practically, like with the amount of space available at least.
We do see teammate going for a very wide split. Stoff here is just prone on a hill, trying to make sure he can take shots at passing vehicles. He will not be able to do so for Milla, who drives right by him with a bike.
They must have seen him.
They might. It's kind of hard to tell. Milla's at high HP, so if he saw him, he'd be going for him right now. So it looks like that he did not. They're sort of sitting here on this hill. A lot of prone boys sitting here. If they decide peek this way, then Stoff's going to die.
I mean, Stoff for sure heard them stop on top of the hill, but the issue is he cannot peek them. Yeah, I was going to say he cannot peek anywhere else, because VC and Meter, they're just waiting for him to make a wrong move, and that's exactly what just happened. He'll be taken down there. In the meantime, Dynamic saw him do really well in the first game. His mate is knocked, though, and now you have both 60 and... Oh, actually, only 60 right now, pushing up over the side here.
He's trying to get that smoke out to keep his teammate nice and safe. They are on a ridge. They could get the heal off as long as he doesn't push. But a frag being ready.
Nope.
He heard it bounce. Longo taking a little bit of damage.
Oh, he's just leaving him. Goodbye.
It's too much. Look, Longo, look at the trail. Look at the UAZ. Look at the smoke saying it's okay. But no, it is definitely not okay. Dynamic barely getting away in time before Stacey crest the hill.
These two guys, Longo and Dynamic, had such a good thing going for them the second game with their way with the way they were able to play together. But this time around, too much happening there. Dynamic saying, you know what? Nope. And also he busted a wheel there, so I'm not sure what his plan is here. He's in a really rough spot because the car is kind of floating, so they can shoot him from underneath, and there you have it. Taken out. Yeah, this is a perfect position. I believe it was Meter, actually, that Fever got the kill in the end. But no, it cannot have been him. It must have been, yeah, Fever from up the roof there. Spotted him underneath the car.
That's
you can see,
so unfortunate.
You could see him underneath because the car was kind of benched, like in a, what do you call it? In a pinch? No? I don't know. English. It was elevated. It was elevated. And yeah, that happened. But either way, Tentacle, 4 people alive, claiming the hilltop to themselves. Again, really split.
Yeah.
Vanity left the compound down here actually now.
I'm really liking a couple of a teams right now.
We're so far off.
Hey, they're fine. They got some boats. They will be able to get these.
And they looted the entire bottom parts. They probably got meds for days anyway.
Yeah, they're fine. They're playing Logistics Simulator over there, which, hey, if you have Lost Egos and Prison uncontested, then you're allowed to do that. That's other people to contest that from you, to prevent you from doing that.
Vanity, though, alongside the remainder of House of Nobles, going to be finishing up in 13th as it got taken out there. Oh, there you have it. Moonwolf losing a player there as well. A lot of fights coming in. You do have Habu, the guys, they're going to be rotating somewhere else now. Wind and Rain, that's the team they were shooting down towards the Moonwolf, as one of them got blown up. The other guys there down by the water, and we do have a scary high amount of water in the zone actually. That does kind of frighten me a bit. Hopefully we will go over here. I would want to see that. Who commits to like because there's no way anybody's going to push you from behind because you have this wall here. Like this is like it kind of reminds me of Game of Thrones, except there's no snow. It's just like a huge wall that nobody can sort of go through.
There's also no way it's gonna end there, though. Let's be real. It's
No,
not gonna
it cannot
on
end
the
up
eastern
there, but
side.
it could end. It could end like over here somewhere.
Maybe that hill, the southeast of
G2
Team 8
as
right
well. They have not been inside the zone for a long time. So both Pipers and the Crimson and G2, this is gonna be zone 4 popping. I mean, there's gonna be more and more damage coming in towards these guys now. And hopefully, as I said before, they have a lot of meds, because if not, then they will be coming into late game with 0. Zone is favoring Havu up top here.
Yeah, definitely. I really like their spot, as well as the players to the northwest that are coming in with blue tanking. They're going to be in a pretty good spot because the north side of the zone is quite empty. In fact, it's one of the less occupied areas of the zone. Al-Azhar completely empty. Anyone coming in from that angle are going to be feeling pretty good right now. Meanwhile, that very contested southern side, a lot of teams are going to be coming in and fighting and dying for this area. Genside taking the brunt of that, already engaging Market Esports to the south.
Yeah, I mean, VLAN and the guys from G2, they got so much room to work with, and nobody can take. They practically got like half the zone if you cut it a straight line here. Practically got like at least 1/3 of the zone to themselves, where they can just sit around and do nothing for a while the other teams are sort of squaring off against one another. Veclear, though, getting the knock onto Vix, so Genside's rotation will be delayed a bit as they need to get the rest going before they can sort of push further.
Genside's in a really rough spot right now with Market compressing the southwest side and Alliance pressing the southeast. It looks like Sigsy, once again, being the bloodthirsty one. Scouting out a little bit ahead, but mostly figuring out that, do they really want to try to cross that between another squad fight? And it looks like the answer to that is no. You see Vegalier taking a couple shots, but getting shot in the head will be enough of him for a peek.
Nope.
Getting right back down that hill.
I'm not going to look down there anymore. They know where I am now. Tixu getting the rest going onto Insolential just before he was taken out there. Yeah, just a few ticks remaining. Taylor trying to see if he can spray through the smoke. I don't really mind tossing nades all over the place, seeing if we connect some of them, but not enough juice on those throws. Need to spend some more time.
The winner of this is pretty dang important. Havu need to control this hill. And Tindergold, it looks like they are a little bit spread out. They will not be continuing that fight. A couple of plays on the south side of the hill. So Havu as well as Tindergold just sharing the north and south sides of the hill respectively as soon as they fall back. The top of this hill, very, very flat, does not provide much cover. They need to play the edges, make sure that no one can actually come here in the first place, because once they do, it's even footing for everyone involved.
And the good thing about it is, I mean, one thing is that we talked about the benefits and the bad parts of being as spread as they are, but the fact is the way that they're aligning themselves, they can always cover each other's backs, and they're taking up, like, if you take a look at the zone in a percentage of how much this is like at least it's not that much, but if we consider, you know what I mean, though, they take up a lot of space where other teams cannot be, and the way that they're lining up so they can always get each other's backs, this is the perfect way to split. I mean, in the late game, because you don't want to be so far apart that there's no way you can help each other, but you also don't want to stand so close to each other that one guy can kill you with a nade. I mean,
on an interesting note as well, they're in a location where splitting works best if you're not getting in a team fight.
Oh yeah,
no one
is
in a position to team fight against these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll have to be running across the open. They'll try to be like, get into cover. They'll be bounding. They won't be fully engaging any of these guys all at the same time. Look at this. Crimson evaded him. Alliance playing very far down. Alliance actually.
Crimson inside the zone now. Crimson just got inside the zone before the 4th zone connected. Jesus Christ. How many meds do these guys? Still got 4 first aids and 11 bandages and 4 boosters. Yep, they're pretty good.
They're good.
And they all got like level 3 items as well. So there you go. Favor and the guys, they've been down here for a long time too. Yeah, Muggett coming closer.
Right there. I'm wondering who's going to throw the first stone, because we do have Moonwolf on the opposing hill to the right. Muggett not in a great spot, all hiding under the shadow
them out
of
the zone
garage.
Too. They need to make their way around the wall here. They need to get inside actually to get inside the zone, I believe. If you take a look down here, there's only the half part of it that's going to be inside. Moonwolf over on the other side here are going to be pushing up at some point soon as well. So these guys forced to make a move. Yep, you see they're outside the zone. Just in the corner there, sitting around. Sonar, centralized as can be. Miller and the guys, they're in a good position now, but they should maybe consider starting to get closer to one another, because they know there are 44 people still alive in this much space. And we're reaching a point where splitting can be good, but if 2 teams push you from each side, There's just so many bullets in a weapon. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
And look, they have to get to Regular right now. He is getting pushed by the entirety of Alliance at the moment. There is still one player far to the northeast. He's coming back right now. But for now, it's only 3 players that can actually fight against Sigsy, VZ, and Fever coming up this hill.
Yeah.
Looks like they do have a downhill advantage. A couple of frags could be to their disadvantage as you're see Regular chucking a couple. Just a little bit off. Sigsy not able to get that down.
A lot of fire coming in. Looks like the guys from G2 are taking a lot of fire as well. That's actually going to be it. G2 finished off there. They came into the zone late. Didn't really shoot any. No, didn't really get to fire their weapons at all this game.
Big.
Nice headshot coming in from Noise there. Did you say that's a Noise shot? Did you say that? Pretty Noise.
I'd say that's actually like really, puns aside, that's really important. Havu was in one of the best spots in the game tactically right here, but for Flames to sneak up to their southwestern side as well as take out half their numbers, you cannot hold a hill with 2 people. That's too much.
Yeah,
they're going to be playing a little passive at all. Looks like they were barely able to get Tixu, so they're not quite out of the hold the hilltop play yet, but losing a player like that in that surprise attack, very, very good for Flames, not at all good for Havu.
You see, and now you got Moonwolf pushing up on Market. They did leave the building, trying to make their way down around the south side of the road, but they're going to be running into Moonwolf, and they're all going to be forced to cross the road or get up to like the very edge of the road up here. And right now, Wind and Rain, they're in the perfect position. I mean, these guys, they're you shall not pass is the main word of what's going on right now, and these guys will have a hard time coming across the road. That's for sure. They need 10+ smokes to push over there.
Couple of frags. He spotted Addy there by the trees. He would try to get that down. Looks like he will be getting it detonating at his feet. I think it's just Fate who's up for his team. Not going to be able to revive Maverick as well. The zone pushing everyone in, though. Looks like Moonwolf getting themselves healed up, trying to avoid Fate, but actually
looks like White got across the road, though.
Right into him.
Yeah, he did get across the road, right? So one player still on his feet from Market. That's actually pretty fortunate because Fate was kind of drawing all the attention. Both Wind and Rain and the other guys, they're looking down here. And in the meantime, you have Right just kind of making his way over while no one was paying attention. But maybe, just maybe, Alliance will spot it coming in. There's still tunnel vision uphill, though, so you never know.
They have to. Looking over here, though, a lot of shots being set out here, as it looks like Wind and Rain spotting Alliance here on the side. Milla taking some shots as well. Moonwolf have 2 squads aside them. Crimson in the northeast. Oh, but a lot of shots. Some full-out sprays being laid into Cats with that window here. That could be the opening that Moonwolf need. A couple smokes. They might be teasing the road crossing with the zone coming right here. That is not enough time for the smokes to dissipate. He's trying to prone here. Okay, now the smokes are going out enough for him to use it as cover, but not to the right side where Moonwolf 2 are going against the entirety of Crimson.
Yeah, they're kind of sitting. I mean, they're sitting themselves in really unfortunate situations. Snack got knocked down there, so it's just gonna be one person remaining. I believe that's Edo. Yeah, it is. And Wash actually makes a run for it, but as I just said, there's no way in hell these guys are getting across. He did get the knock onto Chet, but I mean, yeah, you have a strategy. They get the rest going. Cass is back up. He needs to get going, though. I mean, I guess they're just inside the zone. Yeah, they are. So they could take their vehicles and start making moves. But here you have team number 9 being team 8. It never gets old. They're kind of gatekeeping Crimson, but they need to make a move at some point themselves. And it's only going to be a matter of time before people will sort of gatekeep them. So should they just push inside and sort of give Crimson room to move up, or should they stay here until the zone gets to them with the risk of being gatekept themselves? That's kind of the
it's really hard, and this game looked a little bit like more, I would say more obvious before now, but now a lot of the squads that were controlling these hilltops have taken a lot of damage, and they haven't been able to exert as much pressure as they would have thought to the areas around them. So it could be that all these squads that are playing the edge could just walk up this hill, and like I mentioned earlier, once they're on that hill, is equal footing for everyone. I think this is still easily anyone's game, and these squads like Crimson that are still having their might still have their full 4-man up going in here are gonna have a significant advantage going into the late game.
Yeah, for sure. Bjorn just trying to do something up here. Again, we haven't seen a whole lot from Team 8 these games today. I know them individually, they're extremely good players, but it's just as if same thing with House of Nobles, kind of. Every time they tried to do something, it just never really panned out the way they wanted it to. You have Minox and Pony right in. So I guess they kind of did both the strategies that I mentioned. Some of them pushing up kind of early, and one of them staying and seeing if you can hold. But fortunately for Crimson, they've got this entire ridge working for them. The only thing is they're pushing straight up into into Raz and Nils. They're sitting up here.
Yeah,
They
squad
might cross the
one.
road though. They might cross the road over towards the teammates or keep this split. Nope, they're just doing a perfect triangle up here. Smart move on their part as to I mean, they know they have no one behind them because they've been taking this side for a long time, and they were controlling this compound for a long time too. So could maybe get overwhelmed actually by Crimson pushing up here because it doesn't look like they're looking in that direction whatsoever.
This is going to get pretty messy. Crimson, as well as the Tormented teammate, definitely hear this going down. Bjorn making his way uphill as well. Meanwhile, on the south side, it looks like 4 people still up, trying to guard Crimson on the west side. Flames going down here. Looks like they will be getting finished
that's
off.
got finished off there.
The
Ooh,
west
now
side.
they're crossing the road, Crimson. Pony all by himself now will be taken out there, so it's gonna be just... Now it's just Bjorn
Look
remaining.
at the
He's gonna come...
bodies.
There are so many corpses here. It's insane. Everybody third party in this fight. Jump away. All by himself. Will he get him? He actually
There we
gets the
go.
kill. So Minox with 2 kills. Taylor with 1. Just sort of third party in that
Oh
fight.
my
And Bjorn,
God.
will he be able to get down to...
No.
He could have.
No.
I think he actually could
I
have.
think Tony Ryder's been down twice. At the very least, the call was made that he shouldn't do it. Now look at that.
Yeah, for
He was
sure.
being used as bait to the north.
Nice
One
shot
down,
coming in.
But Bjorn did smell something was wrong. He gets 1 down. Might get the kill as well. But there are still 3 more players on that north side that are preventing Bjorn from getting into the zone up the hill.
And despite his teammates dying, this is exactly the break that they needed. Because, I mean, Mikas is going to go down. Yep, he's going to die right here. 8 kills and a guaranteed 5th place for the guys from Team 8. This is exactly what they needed. Yeah, exactly. They haven't really found the game earlier, but now it's working. But look at this. Tentacle, they've been alive on top of this hill for a long time. Like 4
They
zones in
weathered
a
the
row.
storm.
and-
I was getting worried when Genside and Alliance came from the south and west sides, but they managed to survive that without losing a single player. And now coming into the end of the zone, as long as Bjorn doesn't take anyone with him, then they will be in a great spot for the rest of this game. That being said, I think that they might... Taylor
Spotted
might have
Taylor.
spotted Bjorn here. Mila's going up this hill.
Yeah, there are too many angles to hold. They can peek, like, it's just an impossible situation. Like, impossible place for him to make a play there. If he was fortunate, because you can only see hits from down here, so if you could land, like, insane headshots really quick, but at the moment that he spots their hit, they can see his entire body, and that's just, yeah, it's
Okay,
it's
this
a
is
tough
a little
play for
bit
him to make.
awkward. Genside to hold their position to try to prevent Tindergold from getting into the zone. They're going to have to stay out of the zone as well. Meanwhile, Tixu, look at this. The hillside is all they got
this
for
is
cover.
such a
They
good
might
position.
slide down this if they're not careful. But as far as as long as that doesn't happen, and if they can hold this will be a great spot for the 3 remaining members of Havu.
And Genside, I mean, I haven't really seen them at all this game. They've kind of just been playing the edges
stuck
and doing a good job staying to themselves. Only got 3 kills to the team as they're now come pushing down towards the guys from... I was gonna say pushing down towards the guys from Tentacle, but Havu just interfered there and knocked out Andrea.
Yeah, and look at this. They're forced to the right outside the zone to actually try to take a straight up fight against Tindergold with only having 3 members left. Previously, they sort of inherited all of Flame's problems before they took them out, took their position, but now are realizing that it isn't that great of a spot right now. Very little cover besides smoke, keeping them from getting gunned down by Tindergold, currently trying to get some shots through the smoke. But as they make their way in, if they get too far north, look at this Havu getting another down here. They can't really push north because Havu's there. If they push east, then Tindergold's waiting for them. This is really bad for Genside.
Yeah, it's extremely tricky. Vic is inside the zone, but Kylang isn't. He's getting pushed now, though, by Victor. The smoke just disappeared, and he's gonna spot him. There you go. Doesn't get him! What? And he got Martin as well, Kylang, with a double knock. How the hell did Victor not get that knock? Maybe it was some of those... Maybe it's some of those moments where you're like, shoot, and then you're like, yeah, just hit him enough times. I'm gonna stop shooting because I already got him. But nope, not gonna happen. Miller now the only guy. There's no way he's gonna get back to Martin because he's outside the zone. Kyling, though, gonna be taken down. But this forced the push from Havu, and I don't think they're expecting Vic to be here.
That one play, that one misplay,
they are expecting it.
One misspray means that Havu gets everything. They know exactly where Vic is. They're running straight at him, and with him going down right there, Havu controls
they knocked
the
him.
entire hill from that one small missed spray.
Holy moly, Victor! You're gonna be upset about that one, especially when you see it on the screen here as well.
But that being said, though, they do control the hill, but the new zone will be favoring one that squad
kinda
huge. Well, look at this. This hillside has very little cover on it, and I am even playing the far south side, trying to make sure that they can get some crossfires here. This is really good for one, as long as I am Larry can stay safe.
Yeah, and I mean, Miller can sort of... I mean, if he can stay alive, he could interfere with this fight gonna happen, but with the way that Havu is pushing right now, I highly doubt that's gonna happen. spots Tixu, and there we go. That's the interference he needed. He's gonna be shot in the back though momentarily.
Oh, they have no cover.
No, but look at this. You do have no. Actually, Larry's gonna stay down here. He's not even gonna push
Yep,
it.
they have zone. They don't care.
Yeah, they're just gonna stay. Nades are coming in though. Well, that's the thing. If you're prone, you don't really fly as far away. People sort of get confused sometimes by the explosion damage and the sort of fall damage you take from nades. Because one thing is to take damage from the explosion itself, but you also take a lot of damage from getting tossed to the side. And there you have it, Middle just getting shot at from 4 angles. There's only so much cover a tree can bring you, and taken down in the end. So it's gonna be 3-on-3. Havu has the upper hand advantage with the hill being in their favor, but they need to push down. Should he just fly out the hill with cars?
Oh, hills are good. Hillsides are not.
Fly, Insolenzo!
Trying to find
Oh, he just stopped here. He's out the zone though. He's still outside the zone. Let's see
He'll
if
be able to stay here for a bit.
Larry spots out really mind up the hill. Takes out the 4x. Nice shots coming in from him there, and we'll be finishing him off there. It's gonna be a 4-on-2. Or 3-on-2, I mean, sorry.
Uh-oh.
They know where Insolenzo is because the car is over here. But yeah, just gonna say it, Tixu. Nice positioning. Will be flushing him as well. So 2-on-2 now. Raz and Nils has the position, and Tixu. I mean, if he can get down to the tree here, he would still be inside the zone. I think he could stay behind the tree and be inside the zone and sort of be safe.
Ooh, and
Insolenzo is inside the zone as well. This next zone is going to determine everything, yeah. If they're forced to push out from the compound, they could push up to this building if they have smokes available. No, there you have it. Tixu gets knocked. I don't know if he was peeking at the wrong time. He shouldn't be peeking. He should do exactly what Insolenzo is doing. Just prone and wait for the new zone to pop. Because if Insolenzo gets it in his favor now, and he doesn't have a teammate, that could cost him the game. Havu having already won one game.
That lets Raz McKee grab the shed, spreading out, trying to get a little mini crossfire going on, grabbing every single firing port they possibly can. And now Havu forced to peek. He gets the zone, though, so this could be good. He has a Carnate as well, so he could punish these peaks against level 2 helmets. This is going to be really determined. Look, Raz McKee getting up to this small 2-story building. If Raz McKee getting a lot of shots on Insolenzo as well. This could be the start of their push. Not even using cover, they're pushing directly at him.
Where are your nades, Insolenzo? Did you use all of them? Where are your nades? Because they're going to be sitting right down here. Are they going to be pushing up, though? It looks like they are, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Imagine if he falls down and just dies from that. That would be sad.
Oh, that'd be embarrassing. That's not going to happen. He has the 2x ready. Raz McKee is downhill. He's got the rifle trained at the one entry point on that tree. Might have spotted the head spot.
There's no helmet on Nils. Exactly. I was just going to call it. And he can only see it has one shot to the face, and Raz is going to be knocked. No, Nils is going to be knocked. He has the first one.
Shot.
He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know where he is. He's got a nice positioning from Raz. He knows where he is now, though. And there you have it. Nice headshot from Raz to finish things off. He got confused there in the end, though. I don't know if he should have expected them. I mean, he was looking down on. Yeah, he was looking down on the left side, but there's no way in hell you're gonna be able to push up that left side. So that was yeah, it was just unfortunate for him. He did get 4 kills, and they got 10 kills in the game total, though. So that's, I mean, you're gonna be satisfied. And they won a game already today as well, so you're gonna be satisfied. But of course, they would have wanted that win there in the end.
Look at these top 4 or top 5 squads, kind of besides Genside, getting a huge amount of kills, and Genside as well. They were able to shoot flames in the back, so you can kind of just assume that they can kind of inherit some of those kills as well.
13 kills from Tindergold and a 3rd place. That's pretty damn impressive. Just 5 kills from Larry, but I mean, and their team, but I mean, 1st place, that's going to net them a lot of points either way. Kyling, kind of the only effective guy on Genside, I guess. This game.
What a lot of these top placements tell me is that in this particular zone, that the squads that were able to grab themselves a position where they're able to grab and take several favorable positions for fights, but not too many, was the way to go in this particular zone. Look at that. Besides everyone besides Genside able to grab themselves a spot in the hill, get shots down on the heads of everyone around them, and then eventually either live or die making their way on those hilly transitions. But either way, top 5, if you get in top 5 with a zone like that, with a strategy like that, then honestly, whatever you did worked.
Yeah, true. I mean, also, I mean, we see Minox and the guys. They had a good position up by that compound there in the end, and also the kind of split that Bjorn did and got the last kill. Minox, he did get 2 of those kills, 4 kills for him, 8 kills for them total, and a 5th place. That's their best performance today. They were doing somewhat decent last game as well. They had that kind of questionable move there with stuff going around the hill, but they've been doing much better. I mean, it's hard to base things off of 2 games on each map, but their overall
Yeah.
performance on Miramar way out leveled their performance on Erangel today.
Yeah. One more thing that I want to say before we close out here is that it really does make a lot more sense on Miramar why we're seeing those fights break out over the central compounds. We saw it in game 1 where you saw all those guys just like fighting over the one spot, like 2 bits in the game. It was like, what's going on? Why is everyone fighting over this? But in game 2 of Miramar, we saw the guys that grabbed those central locations that were really, really good cover as well as good just like hilly locations. So many kills, good end game placements. It shows if you have a good position on Miramar, not a compound, a good tactical position. That will translate to a late game placement 9 times out of 10.
You can get unfortunate with zones, but as you just said yourself, the people that committed to their like hillside positions rather than sort of staying downhill in compounds, they were the ones that got the upper hand in the end. I guess with the exception of Larry, because they sort of stayed down by the road. So that does kind of disprove my whole point because they won the game. Either way, that's going to be the 4th and final game. Guys, this was the first week of ESU European Invite League. I think it was pretty exciting. We have some good... There are some of the teams that I know for a fact are like textbook good teams that fell off surprisingly fast. G2 being one of them. They were never... I mean, they came in late to some rotations, and the early ones they got kind of cut off as well. And some of the teams that I don't know too well did really good as well. I mean, I'm Larry and the guys, and I know their team by name, but I don't. Yeah, maybe I just haven't seen them play that much. But they were doing extremely well, and Jensen and the guys also just 4 kills this game, but they did a good job there as well. So guys, that's gonna be all from us. I am Tobias. The name is Toby, and I've been joined here. Do you just say a little fuzzy seal, or do you say Ben, a little fuzzy seal Harris? How do you like to? You know what, Ben? I introduced us. You can shoot us out.
Well, I had a good time today. You'll be hearing some more of me for the NA games that'll be going on. I think.
Oh, you're going to NA later. Yeah, you're doing NA later.
Yeah, I've got some 8 games today. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh, good times. Good times.
But that's been me. That's been Toby. Hope you guys had a great time, and I'll probably see you soon. Have a nice night.
Hopefully, yep. See you guys.